Just one, though.
Just one.
Yeah,
So we
but
know
it
the
actually
numbers.
responded, which is an improvement.
All right. Okay. So summary from last time. You guys walked on down the mountain from where you met Aulus and his little friend, his big friend, Atla. You received.
You mean Lars?
Lars? Crap. Yeah. Wow. My brain is still souped.
We got the pigeon from Aulus.
You did get the pigeon from Aulus. Aulus was involved. Yeah, you guys got the pigeon from Aulus. Aulus is alive. He is working as a janitor. #Valente moment. And he's having the worst day of his life, pretty much consecutively. But it's better than him being dead. So, he says he will update you if anything super spicy happens, in his neck of the woods. Though he's not getting much information anymore because he is unemployed by the government, at least. So then after you guys... Oh, I'm getting feedback from somebody.
No, that was a temporary issue where I was, I got to the stream and it loaded and it wasn't muted, but I muted it and we're fine.
An echo. All right. So then you guys went back to Godfrey's house. I think you guys just like fucked around for a little bit. Yeah.
Some of us were recovering from colds, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of you guys were sick. Oh, you met Merope.
Yeah,
the neighbor
Merope.
lady.
Yeah.
She just kind of hung out for a couple minutes and then left. You guys, oh yeah, Octavia and Archibald, sorry, wow. Octavia and Archibald
trip to the bathroom.
made a boys' night trip to the bathroom.
That ended in tears.
Oh yeah.
That ended with Godfrey being very, very upset with you guys. Over fighting over whether or not Alika may or may not be taking strange medicines in copious amounts. Let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, Archibald may have seen a ghost. Unclear.
Fuck you, it's clear.
Archibald saw something. Perceived something in the yard. And let's see. After that, I'm like going out of order, but you guys were there, you remember. And then Valente had a strange dream where she killed some sort of creature. And that's where we are right now. Everyone is just starting to wake up. It is very, very early in the morning. But that's fine because today is the day where you guys are set out to parts unknown. It's time to get a move on. Or at least that was your original plan.
Yeah, that's still the plan.
I think that would make sense. I think heading down maybe to like the city because the library is there and there might be things would be a good idea. But I'm down for other suggestions.
We got the tokens. Yeah.
This is true. Lars was very helpful, even if it was because he wanted to punch us in the face.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for him?
That's just how teenagers are. Don't take it personally.
No, I saw Lars and so did Val, and Val was like, oh, yeah, little fucking guy.
What if there was a little guy? Alright, so you guys are just now getting up. The sun is barely rising. It's maybe like 5 a.m. It's like really early.
Oh boy.
But the dogs are barking in the backyard. They're all excited. And as the first of you start waking up, I'm gonna dartboard and say who just woke up first. Archibald!
I think we established that Archibald actually kind of didn't sleep last night.
Alright, well then how convenient. Archibald, as you're like, quote unquote, waking up, you're like, scooting around for the first time in the morning. You see that, the house is already rather, not lively, but people are awake. You can hear the sound of someone in the kitchen, like, either using the sink or washing dishes, and they're talking to someone else. So there's two people in the kitchen. You don't know exactly what they're doing. Maybe making breakfast or coffee or something. And then if you were to look out the window to the backyard, you can see that Merope's actually here, and she and Godfried are talking in the backyard. they don't really seem to be doing anything else but talking.
Did you say people are in the kitchen, or is
Yeah,
this
there's two
them
people. There's two
outside?
people in the kitchen, and then 2 people outside.
Oh, who are these other two? Oh shit. I guess I'll go take a
And the
peek
rest of you,
around.
the rest of you are also like starting to wake up
I'll
at this
take
point.
a peek around the door. Who's there?
All right. You look down the hallway and you see the form of Gare standing at the sink, washing dishes as Alika talks to him. She just kind of seems she's just standing there. She's just chatting. Gare seems to mostly just be like nodding along, like saying yes, no, that's very nice. Like he doesn't know this lady, but he seems to be doing her dishes.
I see. I will pull my head back and just sort of walk over and start. I guess I'll just start off the morning by pacing back and forth uh, around the room, because, like, oh boy, what a night.
All right. Getting those steps in. Valente, what are you up to first thing in the morning?
Okay, well, what is Val up to? I think Val wakes up and has a look of, okay, that was a night on his face. Because he had a weird dream, and his closest friend was brought to tears, and so she feels every emotion right now, shrimp emotions, if you will.
Shrimp emotions.
And so I think she'll see Archibald pacing and decide, yeah, I'm not gonna deal with whatever that is. And I guess Val will ask Gare if he wants any help.
Gare is gonna look over his shoulder at you, and you get he's got a weird look in his eye, he's got almost trepidation, on his face. But he accepts your help. He would love some help drying dishes.
Okay, Val's gonna dry some dishes then.
Alika, now that there's another person in the room, seems to have been thrown off track as to whatever she was talking about and shuffles away off to whatever she does in her free time.
Val feels a little bad, but also understands that probably Gare prefers this.
As you guys are washing dishes, you spend the first couple minutes in just silence, water running, scrubbing, that kind of thing. Maybe you're starting to think about, oh, what should we do for breakfast, that kind of thing. And then Gare turns to you and he says, so I just had a strange conversation.
Yeah.
Well, and then he nods over his shoulder at where Alika disappeared. She knew my name.
Do you not introduce yourself?
No, I did, but I mean, once, 3 days ago, but haven't you noticed? She hasn't called anyone the right name since we got here. But she knew my name.
She did take her medicine yesterday. I don't know if that helped, but it's that or I don't fucking know.
He looks uncomfortable for a second. He says, she was asking all sorts of questions. And then he just kind of shakes himself off a little bit and goes back to scrubbing.
I mean, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine, but what kinds of questions?
Just, I don't know, just, she said something about her father and my father. It was very strange. She said she's heard about me before. I don't know from where. I think she might be thinking of someone else, but she kept saying my name.
Yeah, Val pauses his drawing and then keeps going and goes, I'm not going to confirm or deny anything because obviously I have no fucking clue. But I wouldn't brush it off entirely. I don't know, who knows? I don't know her, I only know what Godfried has told us about her past. Though I did see what I think was a picture of her parents and her as a baby when I was cleaning her room. But yeah, I mean, I know nothing about your father or anything, so who knows? If you think it's nothing, then it's probably nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably nothing. It's just weird to be asked that all the way out here, you know?
Yeah, that would be odd.
And then he goes back to scrubbing. Edwin, what are you doing at this hour of the morning?
I think probably for this like week break while he's been sick, Edwin has been like finally catching up on his notes because he's trying to take notes on literally everything, which means that he's almost always behind. But they've been just like chilling for a little bit, so he's finally like actually caught up about it. So he gets up and he's like very satisfied about it and like thrilled to just like, not that he wasn't chilling out before, but like he's like, oh cool, I'm on top of my stuff, that feeling.
Edwin, literally the only one here having a good time.
He doesn't notice everyone else having such a bad time. He probably went in the kitchen as well to see if anyone was planning breakfast first, but then seeing it's like Val and Gare just doing dishes, he's like, just go somewhere else.
You quickly come upon a still sleepy Amalthea wrapped in a blanket who asks whether you guys would be willing to stay for another month or so because she really doesn't want to get out of bed.
I think we have to go, but I understand the sentiment.
Oh, that's what I thought you'd say.
Yeah.
And then she grumbles as she goes off back to her cot. Probably to still go back to bed, but maybe not for a whole month.
Yeah. Have a nice rest.
She groans as she disappears.
At least we're all over our colds probably, right?
Yes, you guys are all well and good. You will be fine.
And was it Godfried and Merope outside? I forget.
They are talking in the backyard at like the very far end of the backyard.
Okay, because I think Edwin would totally talk to Godfried about just like the stuff that they have learned about beasts, kind of, but he doesn't want to interrupt with Merope, so he can wait until Godfried's done.
Mm-hmm. As you're like passing by the window and just confirming that, oh yeah, Godfried's still talking to someone, you can see that both of the people in this far-off conversation seem unhappy, if body language has anything to do with it. Either they're fighting or they're mutually upset over something. It is unclear.
I feel like Edwin would love to interrupt them just with like breakfast or something, but like there is no breakfast right now.
Breakfast.
So
I
he'll
lied.
go ask. He'll just go ask Val and Gare if they have any idea of what they're gonna do for food right now.
Val, do you have a plan for dinner or breakfast?
Well, okay.
Gare doesn't know shit.
No, Val knows people need to eat. My question is, like, what do we have? Like,
there's like dried grain and stuff in the pantry little shelf.
Is there like oats?
Yeah, like
Yeah, then like Val will say, "I'll make some oatmeal with like granola and shit on it." That work?
Oh, yeah, that's great. I was just gonna tell Godfried and Merope that we were doing whatever we're doing because they're outside and they're probably getting cold and stuff. So, I'm gonna go do that.
Okay.
All right.
Val's like, dang, someone's fine with talking to Godfried in the party. That's a good thing. And
It is.
one person, yeah, no.
I mean, to be fair, Archibald's fine talking to Godfrey.
just not mutual.
Just so you
Archibald
guys aren't
is-
like too worried, he'll only leave the party if you guys get like F supports across the board. Like if you all hate him and he hates all of you.
I for one plan on keeping him around through the sheer allure of just being able to just like knowing too much shit for him to pass up on the opportunity of talking to me.
Tempt
It's
him.
like, hey, by the way, I don't know
Octavia
what
wants
happened,
to be
but
friends
I bet
again
you're.
so badly. Octavia
Hey.
feels so bad.
Hey, buddy, don't know what's up. Sorry about last night. I do know that someone in your family died because I tucked their ghost last night. Bye.
God.
No, don't
Oh,
tell
no.
me.
Wow,
Say it
friendship
like
is
that.
so easy. Just tell them about their deceased family members.
Friendship is so easy. Just blackmail them.
Anyways,
God.
Edwin, you were doing something.
Yeah, Edwin probably sticks his head out. There's like a door to where
Yeah, there's
the
a back
backyard
door.
where they okay. Edwin sticks his head out and kind of like waves to see if he gets anyone's attention.
You do not get anyone's attention. But as you stick your head out, Merope just kind of like hangs her head for a minute, and then she goes in for a hug. She goes in to hug Godfried. He just kind of like stands there for a couple seconds, but he does hug her back, sort of awkwardly.
Aw.
After a few like just stiff moments, she lets him go. And then she just kind of like turns around and starts walking away. She looks upset.
Oh.
What does she do when she notices Edwin is standing
Oh,
there?
She
no.
does not notice Edwin is standing there. She's walking in the
God.
opposite direction.
Oh, well.
She looks like she's going home. Like she's walking the direction of where you assume her to live.
Edwin probably like shuts the door a little further so that he can act like he didn't see all of that. And then opens it again as if he had just opened it. It's like, Godfried, we're gonna make breakfast if you want any.
Godfried turns to look at you, for just like a second, like, how long have you been standing there? Because he didn't see you open the door. He was watching Merope go.
Yeah.
But then he starts walking back towards the house. His hands are in his pockets. He doesn't look happy.
Oh. Are you okay?
He just kind of brushes by you. He makes a grunting noise. Completely non-committal.
Okay. That's fine.
Alright, Octavia, what are you up to?
I would say because she went to bed still with not washing her face after she cried, she's gonna go to the bathroom and wash her face. Because it
Fair
probably
enough.
feels really gross right now.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
she just goes to the bathroom, washes her face, like gets ready quietly for the day in the bathroom and takes some time for herself.
Fair enough. Alright. So everyone is starting to get up and about. Amalthea makes a reappearance, this time without her blanket, but she still looks very tired and grumpy to be awake. Andrew, were you gonna say something?
Yeah. I don't know which window I was looking out of relatively. Was that window perspective the same field that I saw things out of last night?
Which window? No, it was you were looking out the kitchen window. This was the living room window, but it looks out to
Right,
like the same yard.
Same yard, but like I couldn't see the same area out there.
You can see the same area, different angle.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Like,
Gotcha.
could I see the same spot out there?
You can see the same spot.
Where's Millicent right now?
Millicent is laying on the floor in the hallway, being a large and furry obstacle to all that wish to pass.
At some point, halfway through the pacing, I assume when everyone's like getting settled, Archibald says to the room, and no one in particular, I'm gonna go get fresh air or something. I don't know. Going for a walk. And he will walk out, just sort of into the field. Not when Godfrey and oh God, what's her name?
Merope?
Yeah.
Merope.
Yeah, not while they're out there. That'd be weird. Just like give it
Just
time.
walk out while
and
they're
leave.
having an argument.
Oh,
Hey
God.
guys,
No.
what's up?
No, just throw on the cloak, go for a walk out towards the spot.
The spot. All right. The spot is not too far from the house. Yeah, you are now at the spot.
Nothing weird out there, right? Nothing here.
Visually? Nope. Nothing weird. There is now a set of footprints walking through the spot because Godfrey just walked back inside. But other than that, nothing has changed.
I'm gonna do like a slow walk, I guess, around the field area around the house. And I suppose while I'm doing that, keep a general eye out for anything that looks like a grave. Just
As you are
out of
meandering around the area, you do notice that there are, at the edge of the property, a couple suspiciously shaped patches of plant, perhaps indicating that soil had been moved and then replaced. No headstone,
Like
as far
recently?
as you can see. No, not recently. The plants that grow over it are definitely like not like, oh, we planted this grass last month. But
There's no like
it's noticeably
tombstone
like
or
a little divot in the ground, a couple of them.
no like tombstones or like
No
otherwise.
tombstones.
Well, as I'm walking, I will pass by it and stop and look at it a bit. Not really about to start digging up this man's backyard. This time.
Oh no.
That's for later.
Oh no.
But yeah,
At this time.
going for a walk, stopping to take note of that. Continue, finish walk. Whatever.
All right.
Assuming that no like
No,
there's
yeah,
no, like, hands
the
sticking out.
areas that could possibly be graves, you're not entirely sure if they are. There's snow over the ground. It's just you were on the lookout for it, and confirmation bias is a powerful thing. But no hands reach up to grab you or anything like that.
Yeah, no, Archibald will finish just walking around the area.
All right. Are you good then going back inside?
Yeah, eventually, whenever.
Okay. You take another spin around the yard. You take note of the garden, the pen full of dogs that are now going crazy. It seems that someone has fed them since last time. They're like half eating, half barking at you, half just kind of rolling around in the dirt. You go back inside, and at this point, Valente has probably finished making oatmeal. Does that seem like a consensus, Valente?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have, it takes like 10 minutes to make oatmeal. So
Okay,
sure.
so then yeah, you're probably done. Gare helps you hand out bowls of oatmeal. He's still looking a little bit like brow furrowed, thinking deeply, thinking emoji. But yeah, he helps you hand out oatmeal, and eventually all of you, minus Alika, and maybe Millicent, who's still being a doorstop, have vaguely gathered in the sitting room to decide where you need to go next. Do you want to decide where to go next?
Yes.
Would you like to partake in that activity? Or you all just want to
Yes.
sit here and stare at each other?
That's Val's like, I don't care.
I have an out of character question because I think I might have missed it, but when Lars said where the shrine for Sed was, where did he say it was?
It is south of the Thove mountain range, so in Belhala territory. It is in the former capital of Silice.
Okay, because I thought he said it was in Valhalla for some reason.
No, it's in
Yeah,
Belhala
I was like, uh-oh.
territory, not the
I
city.
see.
The like I guess
Yeah,
kingdom.
yeah. I see.
Empire.
Okay, that makes more sense. Well, I definitely think we should go there. That's my suggestion, at least.
Amalthea
Is the-
yawns and says, "What's there again?" Books, right?
Well, yeah, and I think Lars told us there was a shrine there, and we do kind of like to visit shrines.
Gare makes a little frowny face at that.
Okay, some of us like to visit shrines.
uh, is that a consensus then? Yes, good.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Archibald's staring at a window, not paying attention.
All right,
Well-
Edwin. It seems you are the voice of the party.
All right, no one can argue with me.
Edwin
No one
becomes
can
king. You mark the place on your map where Lars had described the shrine to be. Hopefully, it will also be accompanied by that library he mentioned.
Yes.
All right. After you guys are done eating, what can I assume to be just like a very tense meal for a lot of people. All the dishes are cleaned once more, they're put away, and it's time to begin gathering your stuff to go. Amalthea just kind of slides all the things she owns into her little knapsack thing that she carries around. That's where most of her belongings seem to live. Gare doesn't seem to have belongings, question mark. So he just vibes. He stands there. He makes sure his coat is on correctly, that kind of thing. Godfrey disappears into the basement with his carrying case, assuming he's going to like replace items in it and such. And Millicent is looking confusedly from one person to the other, like, what's everyone doing? Where are we going? Everyone's packing up. What's happening?
Octavia, like, if Millicent's fine with it, she just pats her head. It's like, you probably don't understand, but we need to get going, Millicent.
Millicent just kind of allows herself to be pet. She's like happy that someone's playing with her, but she does not understand what you're saying at all from a language point of view. She is a dog.
Yeah, that's fair. But she's not going to be the one to suggest Millicent come with them, and she assumes like Millicent is in some ways a guard dog, so she's not going to suggest taking the guard dog away.
Yeah. She hurts the other
Instead-
dogs.
Yeah. But I think Octavia, after she gets her things, also like make sure that the cots are folded up or like situated. She doesn't try to take them downstairs. She just kind of orders them all by the entryway, not in the way of the entryway, but like on the side to like, because she's not gonna try
all cleaned up.
Yeah, just all cleaned up and feel like whenever wants to take them down, they're ready to get taken down.
All right, is anyone else doing anything particularly interesting?
I'm
I
thinking
mean-
about it.
Oh.
Val's getting all of his shit on. He's making sure Garlic is fed and ready to drag the convoy for the first really long. I mean, now it's coming with them, and so he's got to make sure it's secured. Garlic is stoked to have a job. He always has a job, but it's double job now. Win. So Garlic's super excited. Val's trying to keep him from being too excitable because he's got it. He's like, calm down. Yeah, you got a job.
So happy.
But otherwise, just doing the normie stuff. I don't know.
Normie stuff. Got it. All right. Archibald, you were pondering doing something?
I've got 2 ideas, and they're increasing ideas, increasing levels of potentially dangerous to Archibald's life and health.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let me ask this question: what is Alika doing while we're all?
Alika's in her room. She seems to be just kind of puttering about. Maybe she's making her bed very slowly. She's just, going about her day. Her day just started. What will today hold? Probably the same thing it holds every day. But yeah, she full of oatmeal, ready to go. Man, that's the second time in this campaign I've been like, old people, oatmeal, perfect.
It is soft, it is fortifying, it is good.
Soft and fortifying, oh boy. But anyways, Archibald.
I mean, Archibald's gonna vaguely looks in to see what she's up to, partially just to see that she's around and not doing anything weird,
She doesn't
ghost
seem to
weird.
be doing anything weird. Nope.
Yeah.
Just kind of meandering. Doing
Yeah.
her thing.
I assume she doesn't notice me poking my head in briefly because.
Are you trying to be sneaky?
Not necessarily, just a it's a poke your head in okay, checking in. Where's everyone right now in the house? Sort of
Hold on, I'm gonna flip a coin to see if she noticed you.
Isn't that a perception roll?
I mean, you're not being sneaky, but yeah, I can make it a perception roll. Hold on. Let me pull up her sheet. I have to find her sheet. Is she good perception? No, she's not.
But she is level 20, so.
Yeah,
Hey.
she's got better perception than all of you, but not by much. Alright. 12. She might hear you coming. She might raise her head a little bit, but she's not gonna go over to you and try and talk to you. She's busy.
Is Octave? I sort of turn around, walk out. Is Octave still in the bathroom?
No,
I think Octavia's been out
Octavia.
of the bathroom for a while.
Yeah, she went to the bathroom before breakfast.
Excuse me for a second. I have to roll a D100 about something. Just don't.
That's always a good sign.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna say what it is before I roll for it, but let's say closer to 0 is a no, closer to 100 is a yes.
Okay.
Ooh. That's 54. That's very,
Kinda.
It's a kinda. You're still on the fence.
That's exactly the same emotion I'm experiencing right now as a player. That's why I rolled the die. What the hell? I'm not gonna call that strong enough of emotion to do the stupidest thing I'm considering doing.
Oh no. Big risk, big reward.
Okay, here's the thing. Archibald's gonna just go to the bathroom, a normal going to the bathroom. But while he is in there, he is going to take another look at that jar of
The
stuff.
jar is not in there. Godfried has the
Yeah.
jar.
I see.
Octavia left the jar on his desk.
I see. Okay. Takes Archibald a second to remember that, but he's like, yeah, that tracks. Is there anything else weird in there?
Let's see. Let me try to remember. There's a couple different, just like random salves and stuff. It's very much a variety cabinet. There seems to be a little bit of something for pretty much any minor ailment or injury you can think of. But that was the only thing that made you pause. Like, oh, that's a lot. That's a large quantity of something extremely potent.
All right. Well, we'll finish up and walk out. And that's gonna be it.
All
I'm
right.
not doing the thing.
Not doing the thing. All right. After maybe another half hour of just everyone getting their shit together, and everyone except Gare is just kind of watching you guys, standing in the corner and watching, like some
He
sort
can
of
sit
creep.
down. Octavia, like after she puts the cost down, she like has a double take and sees what he's doing, and she's like, you can sit down in the living room. No.
He like looks at you and he says, all right, and then he just goes and sits down. But he's still watching you.
Yeah, I know.
He looks.
But
He
he's
looks
like,
a
he
little
doesn't have to stand. He can sit. We're gonna be doing a lot of standing in a while.
He's raring to go. He's ready to go. But it takes you maybe about half an hour for everyone to get your stuff together. You regather in the sitting room, and at this point, Millicent is like looking from one person to the next, like she's putting the pieces together in her head, and she's not happy about these pieces that she's gathered.
Puppy.
She's like barking a little bit, like, "Hey, hey, wait a minute, hey!" Every couple of minutes, Godfrey will just like lean down, like not roughly, but just like put his hand around her muzzle, like stop barking. But she's not having it. She's not happy to see you guys go. As you guys are getting your shoes on, final checks going around the house, Godfrey goes off to, you assume, tell his mother that you're leaving. So he's off doing that. But Millicent digs her teeth into the cloth of Edwin's cloak.
Oh. Edwin's just
Millicent.
politely trying to pry her mouth off of it.
She does not let go. She's whining.
I will do. Well, Archibald will walk over and do that thing where I'll like scratch around her like neck and like stomach a little bit until he finds that spot dogs sometimes have where they compulsively just start like trying to scratch at their back leg. You know what I mean? Does that land for you?
I've seen dogs do it, yes.
Cool. You're not a dog person. I have no idea.
No,
But yeah,
sorry.
I'm just gonna like just sort of see if I get her to like flop over. Stop.
She looks like she twitches a little bit, like she's thinking about it, but she holds fast to Edwin's cloak. The whining gets louder. She begins to drag Edwin a little bit backwards towards the sitting room.
Octavia like takes his hand and is like, Millicent, no.
Edwin's probably still trying to like just like pry her mouth off of his cloak because he doesn't really want any more rips in his cloak or to like hurt her teeth. So she can take him wherever she wants. He's not gonna pull back.
Oh.
Edwin gets
Archibald's
dragged
just
at the
petting her
tail.
at this point.
As all of this is going on, Godfrey is going to make a reappearance in the hall and just like stand there for a moment as he assesses this strange scene that's going on. It's clear by the expression on his face that this is not the first time this has happened. In fact, this might happen every time someone leaves the house for a long, journey.
Oh.
But he just kind of like walks next to Edwin and grabs Millicent by the collar and just, attempts to free Edwin from her grasp.
Dog activity.
Saying just like, no, Millicent, stop that. Millicent does eventually let go, but that does not stop her from yowling as if she's been stabbed.
Edwin's probably trying to pet her so she stops yelling.
You know
He
how
doesn't know how to interact with dogs, but he's trying.
you know how huskies, instead of barking, they'll just scream.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
Millicent is doing. She's just kind of going, ah. But yeah, she's not happy. Godfrey just kind of like holds her back for a second. He's like still talking to her. He's saying like, Millicent, no, Millicent, you can't come. Before depositing her in the bathroom and then shutting the door before she can get out.
Mm,
Sound of wood splintering as the door is ripped to shreds on the
Oh
other side.
god.
Val, we're gonna pretend that Val's inside right now because Val's gonna go. Why can't she come?
Well, she's a guard dog, so. And also, you saw how she acted around that creature on the mountain. She'd just run off. She'd be a lot of trouble. She's
Yeah, I'd
very
feel bad
smart,
if she
but
got
she's also
hurt.
smart enough to misbehave, unfortunately.
Locking. I mean, she's your dog, so I'm not gonna fight you on that. But is locking her in the bathroom really necessary?
Godfrey just kind of looks at you for a second and says, it's not locked. And even if it was, she could open it.
Then why is she staying in there?
Because my hand is still on the doorknob.
And then you're locking her in there, currently.
I mean, currently.
Okay, it's your dog.
Millicent eventually does quiet down, from the inside of the bathroom. Alright, are you guys ready to set out?
One last Archibald thing. While that's all happening there, Archibald walks into the kitchen. Back to the window where he, from that view, is where he found those weird dirt patches, divots, whatever. Is that area, like, in the direction visible out the window?
Not from this window. There's a few trees hiding it.
But it's, like, directionally.
No, directionally, it's...
If the trees
in
weren't
line.
there.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, you were drawing a line between that point and the window. Would the spot of whatever he saw last night be roughly sort of in between there somewhere?
It would not.
It would not.
It would not.
Okay.
They would not intersect. Two different parts of the yard.
Noted.
Alright, are you guys ready to set out on your journey?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, Millicent.
Yes. Sorry, Millicent.
Millicent banished
We
to
love
bathroom.
you.
Alright. So, you guys waste no time leaving the house. Alika does make one last reappearance. She does, like, shuffle up, hug Godfrey again, and then shuffle away. As Millicent just, still in the bathroom, makes sad noises. But then you guys hit the road. Can I get a traversal check from someone and pick a victim and let me remove Millicent from?
I will say I have a 4 on traversal check. Do I add my modifier to that?
Yeah.
I have a 5 on traversal checks. Do you guys want me to roll?
I mean, I
Sure,
would say
Yes.
5 versus my 3, go ahead.
Okay, who wants to be my victim?
Hi.
I'll do it. Oh, okay, you can go. I know I usually
Okay.
volunteer Emblem for it, so I don't want to take
I
the
love-
spot, but
I love how the player characters are like, me!
I...
Please!
Yeah.
Inflict
For the love of God,
We
please
can take
kill me.
abilities. The NPCs cannot.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
volunteer the NPCs. They don't get to have a say in it.
Oh, that's a 23.
23. All right, who got volunteered again?
Archibald.
Me?
Or Archibald, yeah,
Yeah.
Archibald.
All right, the roads are smooth going. The snow melts rather quickly. It is a couple days journey to Salice, and you decide to camp a couple times. But during your first bout of walking, before you really hit the border area where no man's land becomes Belhala territory, uh, it's smooth going. It's easy going. You pass a couple traders on the road, and they're willing to give you just like fresh rations and all that good stuff. So you guys are feeling good. You're feeling happy. Archibald, especially, you manage to just like you find a couple herbs alongside the road. You maybe find like 3 or 4. Actually, I'll say 4. You find 4 herbs. So you can mark that
Nice.
on your sheet. And just whatever's in the air up here, it's making you feel better than you have in a couple days. Maybe it's just the fact that you're no longer in possibly a haunted house that's getting you ready to go, but you feel good. You are going to get a +4 to speed for your next combat instance. So for the next map,
I'm
you're gonna have
snapping.
+4 speed. Archibald.
Shit, me?
Yeah, you.
Cool.
Cool. I don't need to do rally speed.
On him.
On him. Everyone else still
Damn.
needs rally speed.
I mean, Val's fast enough, but
But
we
for
can
fun,
make him go faster.
gotta go fast.
Gotta go
Yeah.
fast. All right, so y'all set up camp at the very like end of the mountain range. One night, it's a lovely summer night in Salice, so it's cold as fuck. But it could be worse. It could be worse. Tensions have been a little bit on the strained side while walking. You guys haven't really had the chance to just sit down and talk to each other at all since you were at the house. And since when everyone sits down, start camp, you're tired, you're cranky, you want to just go to sleep, so you haven't really had time to talk. But now, you settle down early for the day. There's maybe like a small snowstorm coming in, so you're like, oh, might as well just set up camp in this cave and wait it out. And as you do so, it's starting to get later at night. You've just finished cooking and you're cleaning, you're putting everything away. And you're who's sitting at the fire? Who's where doing what?
First I would say like once after they kind of set up, Octavia goes to Archibald and asks like, "Hey, do you have any string that would be good for sewing?"
Somewhere.
Thread.
Somewhere. Hang on. He just sort of starts going through like little pouch after little pouch, bag after bag. It's like I put these fucking patches on with something at some point. It pulls out like a bag, like a little baby burlap sack sort of thing, like hand sized, and hands it to you. And if you open it up, it's got some sewing needles and stuff and some thread of various kinds. When I say that, I mean it's got some like 2 needles resting on top, and just like a wad of like a ton of that of like string and thread. It's like as if someone like has been like slowly like taking like tattered clothes and like garbage he finds and like picking the good thread out over years and years. Got that now.
Thanks. I'll bring back what I don't use.
Yeah, no,
That's cool.
it's some of that is literally garbage. Like you can do whatever you want. I don't care.
Why do you gather garbage if you don't care?
You're the one who just asked me if I had sewing stuff on me.
Okay, fair enough. Octavia sits like relatively close to the fire enough so that way she has light, and she starts like trying to undo the bundle.
Excellent. All right. Valente, what are you up to? Valente is dead.
No, Valente's not dead. Uh,
Yeah.
Val at some point would like to have a conversation with Godfried with no one else around, but doesn't want to say, hey, come talk to me in private, because the last time she did that, the person who she was talking to assumed she was mad at them, and that's not what she's going for.
Godfried is currently in his tent.
Okay. Val is going to walk up to Godfried's tent and say, hey, do you mind if I talk to you for a sec?
You hear someone say something inside, but it didn't sound like no. So.
Val, not no isn't a yes. Val says, what?
He responds louder this time. He says, fine.
Okay, Val comes in then.
He's sitting on his cot. He seems to be doing something with a hammer and a, like, I guess a primitive wrench. You're not entirely sure what.
Val doesn't care. Val's like, cool, he's doing whatever.
Just, guy stuff.
So Val stands there looking apprehensive and says, this is not an accusation or coming from a place of anything that, like, wow, I don't know. I just wanted to say real fast that I understand you're private about certain things, and I respect that, and I am sorry that not everyone else, but it felt like to you that Octavia and Archibald maybe questioned that, but also being defensive when people are possibly worried about things isn't great. They were worried because they cared, and because they didn't want your mom to accidentally be overdosing on something. But I understand that it felt private to you. So I don't think you're in the wrong per se, but I would say, in the future, maybe just remember that we care, and at least I know that me and Octavia do. When we question you about things, it's not because we think you're doing something wrong, it's because we're worried. Yeah, that's really all I had to say. I can leave now if you want to do your wrench thing.
Just doing his wrench thing. Godfrey's just gonna he's just gonna be looking at you as you say all these things, just kind of like a blank expression. But then he just kind of looks around his tent very slowly, like he's thinking to himself. And he just says I know they were worried, but it's my business.
I know, and that's why I said I don't think you're in the wrong, but I don't know. Octavia was just she was really sad that she upset you in that way, and I knew that she wasn't going to breach this. She wasn't going to say anything to you, and I care about her and you. So I wanted to just say that sucks, I guess, and I hope in the future you can understand that when we talk to you and we ask you about things, it isn't because we assume you're doing something wrong. I mean, Archibald maybe, but he's assuming everyone's doing something wrong.
Yeah, he does do that, doesn't he? And then he puts his tools down and he just kind of like sighs to himself a little bit and he says, "Well, I'm sorry if I made Octavia upset. I didn't mean to yell at her."
You should say that to her, not to me. But
He
I'm
makes
sure
a
she'll be.
face as if this is the most unpleasant idea you have ever confronted him with in his life.
Val gives him a face like, yeah, well, that's what maintaining relationships means, and Val's not gonna be your in-between forever.
Uh, he after making this face for maybe like 30 seconds, he just kind of looks away and he says, I'll apologize later."
Nods with a smile and says, okay, I mean, I'm sure she's going to be happy about it, and that makes me happy, so thanks for hearing me out.
And then he goes back to whatever he's doing.
And then Val leaves.
As Val leaves, she emerges from the tent and sees Archibald standing like 20 feet away, surprised in a way that says, I was considering whether or not to try going in there, and I've been standing out here for God knows how long, and then someone just emerged, and I was not expecting that. And oh
Someone
shit,
emerged and it
it's
was the
just
wrong
Val.
person.
Oh, thank God, it's just Val.
Val raises an eyebrow, and in a way that says, did you hear any of that? Not in like a scared way, but in a like, were you fucking eavesdropping?
Archibald looks at Val and just sort of looks around at the tent, and then just sort of looks back at Val and points with like 2 fingers off towards like the woods or whatever the hell is nearby, not near the fire or the tent. And it's like Mal's like, can we talk?
You're
for
kind of in a
second?"
cave, so maybe like a bunch of rocks.
Yeah, just to like come over here, come with me for a second, please. Come on.
Val will follow him, looking confused.
Yep. Once we're away enough, Archibald looks around and there's no one nearby eavesdropping, I assume, because Archibald would be the one who would be doing that if it was anyone in the party. Sam?
Octavia's by the fire.
No one's around?
Yeah,
Just
Amalthea
nothing?
and Gare are not anywhere near where you are. They're both by the
Fuck,
fire.
Amalthea also would. 50-50. But whatever.
Amalthea's not paying attention to you.
But yeah. Once I'm reasonably sure there's no one around, it's like, okay, so oh, okay, wow. How do you ever have something or like you know a thing that you feel like you really ought to tell someone specific, something that's maybe relevant to their life, but you're sort of afraid that if you do tell them, they will A, not believe you, or B, believe you and then stab you, or C, uh, something worse, maybe.
Looks at him and says, I mean, technically yes, but I'm not exactly known for not saying things. I either don't talk at all, or if I'm worried, I say something. If it goes wrong, then that's on me.
But what if the person we're talking to here is Godfrey? What does that mean?
Literally just talked to him about a thing I was worried about and thought he might get pissy about, and it went fine.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what your situation is, obviously, but when I'm worried about stuff, I just say it because, well, I'm not getting any younger, and worrying about it is gonna make me feel worse. So.
Just sort of a long pause, staring back at Val. It's like, okay. So, and like coming around to the side, one arm on the shoulder, just like down to a whisper. I think I know, or have some vague notion of whatever sort of horrible shit went on in his past, like, history here. Pretty sure that someone, maybe his dad or something, died a horrible death. And the only reason I said it is because I was sort of there was a ghost in his house, and I was approached by said ghost several times when I was talking to Godfrey about his life. And then at the end of that one night, Octavia broke down and everything. I talked to the ghost, and it looks back at me through the window.
Well, I just talked to him about that and told him that that was a shitty situation, and I'm sorry that I was talking on her behalf, because I know that you did think he was doing something wrong. She assumed that someone might have been getting hurt unintentionally.
Sort of 50-50, but yeah.
You're paranoid, and that's good in a lot of situations, especially since we don't have a ton of information here. But I wasn't saying to him, oh, Archibald had the best intentions, because I know that sometimes you do think things are
Right.
bad.
No, sure. But that aside, no, so I talked to a ghost in his house.
Val pauses for a sec, and then goes, what?
That's what I just said. That he ghost. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I felt like weird chill. Right, I've said before, dragon.
No, Val starts
Yeah.
rubbing his nose and goes, sorry, I know what you mean. I try not to think about ghosts, because then I have to wonder about things. So, I guess I just didn't hear you say that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? Like I unfortunately have thought about ghosts a lot of time in my life, but the dream thing, the weird dreams thing that everyone's been talking about, that's like part of the course. That
Mm-hmm.
I know. People know what golf is. Back to the game. Just
Probably
no.
like the nobles are like, oh,
Yeah,
golf.
sure. Of course, it's nobles. But like, no, right. The dream thing, totally standard. Usually has to do with something far more powerful than a mortal human. No offense, but like, guys don't tend to haunt each other's dreams. The whole
Val gives him a look of like, I have haunted dreams, but they're my fault, but also, like, I get what you mean.
yeah, no. Gotta say, is this the first time? I don't know. I don't actually remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure that this is at least the first time in a long, long time that I've spoken out loud to a dead mortal human, and they looked back at me. That's a little different, especially when talking to. Every time I talked to them, or like I felt them around, leading up to talking to them, was when I was talking to Godfrey and asking Godfrey about his life and what he was doing.
Val
I don't.
looks very sad right now, but is like clearly like also like he's trying to push certain unrelated thoughts, like tangentially unrelated thoughts from his mind. And is like, I don't know if talking to him about this, you're going to have to be careful.
I know. I think
Part of the thing I was saying was that he has a right to his own privacy, which I still agree with. I don't
frankly, as someone who's sort of in the position of having had lost family haunt him, sort of, and also just lost people generally, a lot of people. I think I get enough to know when to stop prying about things. Not so much a matter of, can I use this to get something? More of a, should he know that, like, does he know or should he know that someone dead is very invested in whatever he's doing right now?
Um, I don't know him. I'm not very close with him, and I don't understand the way that he lives his life, frankly.
Who is?
But I'm not finished with my sentence. But I would want to know. But that's because the people that I lost were very dear to me. All of them. And I live my life missing them every day. And so to know that they were watching would bring me some sort of comfort. And if it was because they had unfinished business, I'd want to help with that. I don't know how he would react. And I can't help you with that, unfortunately.
Or what situation the people who'd be watching him would be in. What relationship they'd have here.
I don't.
Huh. Sorry, all the audio just cut out on my end. Am I dead or is something?
Hello.
No, hi.
No, okay, we're good. It was just
I just said, I don't know.
Okay. Cut out weird a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit. Maybe not tonight. Maybe another. You just talked. Maybe another time. Another time.
Val snorts and goes, yeah, I think he's got a limited amount of emotional vulnerability. I don't know if two big conversations about his past are going to go well with him.
Every
But-
conversation in one night brings him closer to a stabbing.
Was that Archibald saying that?
Yes.
Val looks like he found that funny, but he didn't want to find that funny. Like, he's like, dude. But, like, unfortunately, it was funny to him.
I don't hold it against him. I have known way stabbier people than him.
Val rolls his eyes fondly and goes, yeah, he's not, I don't know, but I would say just approach the subject softly. Please don't get into a fight with him. If you can, and I mean physical fight. And if something goes wrong, oh god, who even in our group would be the best mediator? And then Val kind of realizes that it would probably be him, and he gets uncomfortable with that and goes,
Oh.
ugh. And goes, I don't know who he is. I don't understand him. I don't know who he is a better opinion of in this group. Just, if it goes bad, please be careful. I don't... Ugh.
Archibald sort of pauses to consider. Saying, yeah. Well, yeah, I'll think about that. Have a good night. And walks away.
Godspeed. And then Val leaves.
Alright, who haven't I checked up on yet? Edwin, what are you up to?
I think he was sitting by the fire. Is Octavia also sitting by the fire?
Yeah, she's also sitting by the fire. You see her in that exorbitant, like, bundle of string, and her
Yeah.
trying to, like, piece through it to find some decent thread. Mix up string and thread.
Edwin probably, like, I don't think he'd, like, slide over to get close to her or anything, because he doesn't have any, like, he doesn't really have social skills, but he just is kind of like, do you need help with that?
Uh, yeah. D- yeah, sure. If you're okay with helping.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I'm probably about as good as the average person, so I don't know if it's entirely help, but I can try.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, okay. Let's see if I can find the other end. You grab the other end, and I'll grab the other end, and then we'll work from there.
Yeah, alright. Teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork. And then maybe once we get some decent thread, we can fix your clothes, and then we can fix my clothes.
Yeah. He looks at his cloak, which is like it still can keep him warm, but he's taken some hits in these fights and it has big like rips in it probably that he's
Mm-hmm.
probably tried to fix himself a little bit, but he also didn't really have thread, etc.
Mm-hmm. They work on the bundle, and I'm guessing eventually they get like a decent amount of thread, and then she's
Yeah.
like, I think Octavia like undoes her cloak, is like, my cloak's warm enough. I have my coat here. Give me your cloak. We'll switch.
Oh, okay, thanks. Everyone takes his cloak off and kind of like he probably like starts to fold it up and then he's like, "No, we're probably fixing it right now."
Yes. Thank you. And Octavia starts to like sew the rips to it's not like super nice work, but it's like it's enough where
Yeah.
the tears are secure and they're not going to come undone as
Mhm.
fast, and also the strain is different the thread is different colors, so it does like show up on his cloak,
A pattern.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
and
He
and she's
doesn't
like,
mind.
yeah, and she's like, so has Jugdral been everything you hoped for?
Um, I I think I didn't know what I was expecting mostly because you hear stuff about a place and you can read all about it, but then when you get there, it's just its own thing kind of. Um, and now it just kind of seems normal because we've been here for a little while. As normal as a place with like a cult in their capital can be.
Yeah, well, our continent had a cult for a bit, so I guess just
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. It does feel more normal now. Like, I still remember how freaked out I was the first time that we saw a white beast, and now we play
Yeah.
fought with one. What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, they're still super weird, but I was thinking about trying to take notes on them just cuz I'm not anyone who studies animals, but maybe someone back at home would be able to use that. But I don't even know where to start cuz they're just like they can't die or something and their blood is healing. Very weird.
Yeah, they're weird, but I don't know. I guess that would be something you could bring up with Godfrey. But yeah, and she
Yeah.
gets like really quiet after she says Godfrey and just
Uh,
focuses on sewing for a bit, unless Edwin speaks up.
Edwin was probably about to be like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking of asking him," and then notices that Octavia got really quiet and was like, "Uh, are you okay? Is he like
Uh,
weirding you out or anything? Cause like I
no,
get he's
no, he's not.
weird.
No, he's not weirding me out. It's fine.
Um, you sure you're okay?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Okay, well, uh, if you ever want to talk about it, um, I know I'm not like as experienced as you and Val, but I'm here and I finished all my notes that I was trying to take, so I'm not quite as busy.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to take more notes once we reach Celise. Or
Yeah.
whatever they call the place now. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know what they call it either. Um, I guess we'll see. Maybe I could start taking writing down some points in advance, and then I could get ahead of the game.
hmm.
Um, and then I won't have to worry so much about it.
Okay, so
And
like
he
some
probably he probably just
guiding
starts
questions.
talking to himself about his notes a little bit.
Octavia just like continues to sew and lets him do it, but she's like looking at him fondly, like, yeah, go ahead, nerd.
As you guys are going back and forth and talking, Amalthea is just kind of watching you as she pops little snacks into her mouth. She she's almost mesmerized by you two playing with this ball of string. You know how a cat would be.
Yeah.
But it seems like she's drifting, and as you guys talk, she just sort of, takes a little nappy. Takes a little nappy on the ground.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
She's allowed.
yeah, she's loud. Though probably at a certain point when Octavia notices, she stops and like goes over to make sure that like her head isn't directly on the ground, like she has something like cushioning her head.
you guys have like rolled a couple logs into this cave to sit on, so she's got like her head leaning against a log as she sits on the ground. She's gonna wake up
Okay.
with a little bit of neck pain, but she's young.
It's fine. She'll get over it. She's 15.
Yeah. Archibald, where in the cave are you?
Oh shit.
Why are
Uh,
you afraid of me?
well, huh. So I'm gonna say that after the conversation ended with Val, Archibald walked off to like somewhere a bit away from the fire, but closer to where people would be sleeping for the night. And at various points, he probably paced around in ways that Frodo was watching may or may not have been. He definitely considered a few times, maybe I should just sneak in there and tell Godfrey anyway. But ultimately, was several times was like, again, nah, not doing that. And so he's probably, I guess, towards the back of the group where I don't know how big this cave is, but if there's like a fire or whatever that people are around,
Yep.
he's like on the outskirts, probably behind wherever Amalfi is like napping.
Alright, so you're just kind of meandering. Not meandering, but like
Sure.
walking around.
Now he's probably sitting down and just thinking intently.
As you find yourself lost in thoughts for a couple seconds,
Oh,
don't panic.
All alone?
All alone. Yeah, happy Fire Emblem Day, everyone.
Happy Fire Emblem Day.
Also, happy Weed Day, also.
420 blaze it.
Yeah, as you are sitting down, just kind of thinking to yourself, considering whether or not you're going to dare to maybe start a fight, you hear just like the sound of like boots shuffling up to you, and then someone sits next to you on the ground.
I turn and look.
You find Gare looking back at you, just kind of sitting cross-legged, staring at you a little bit, as if mustering the brain cells to say what he wants to say.
Hi.
Hey. So, I have a question.
Oh, this is weird. This is normally how I'm usually on the other end of this in the group. Sure. What's
Well, I
up?
figure you're the only one who would know personally. That whole history with the child hunts and such, is that all
Uh,
true? That's not just a tall tale?
nope. Though God's wouldn't be great if it was. Unfortunately, very real. Very during my lifetime, young childhood. I wasn't,
Did you
yeah.
see it with your own eyes?
I saw some. I never participated in it or witnessed any hunting. I definitely saw some of the uh, aftermath,
Huh.
what they did after the hunt, I guess.
Yeah. That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Say, since you're the expert on this kind of thing, that dark god Loptus, is he still around?
Oh, that is a good question, and the kind of question that frankly haunts my nightmares. Not literally this time.
He chuckles a
Uh,
little bit at that in a way that makes it immediately obvious that this is a nervous chuckle.
yeah, no. God, Loptus. Man, that guy. The thing about Loptus is, and dragons in general, or dragons especially, is that they've kind of been on the out for a while. By the time Loptus was, but by the time of all the stuff that you're asking about, and my time, Loptus wasn't really around per se. Like he wasn't alive when
Uh-huh.
when a lot of this bullshit kicked off originally. He was doing the sort of whole beyond the veil sort of thing. Uh, the well, it taking like a he made like a pact with a human, funnily enough, named Gare. Different spelling. I hope no relation. Um,
Yeah,
but
he's just gonna make a face like, huh, didn't know that one.
yeah, no, he was right. It was technically we in like the old language, his name was Gaul, but for some reason everyone decided. I don't know what made that jump over a few thousand years, but yeah, it's Gare now, I guess. Again, different spelling. But yeah, so he wasn't really here, and like you couldn't go out and find Loptis as like a lizard around in the world. He was just sort of I guess, a ghost kicking it around. Dragons tend to do that, especially the strong ones. After oh shit, there was sort of a line of emperors, semi-broken line of emperors, I guess, that were all acting in his name. I'm not sure how much of. I'm not entirely clear myself on how much of it was direct possession, how much of that was just sort of people.
At the word possession, Gare, like, his jaw visibly tightens a little bit, and he says, possession? They can
Well,
do that?
oh boy. Well, I don't. Again, like I don't quite know exactly how Loftus went about things, like him specifically, because like I mean, doesn't matter if you're an Earth Dragon or not. They weren't exactly big on spilling secrets of how things work to anyone. But oh, you know who is a good example? I'm pretty sure there was a rumor going around a few thousand years ago that that green kid we met the other day, Lars.
Mm-hmm.
There was a story that the Earth
Oh, no.
Dragons used to tell that the cultists used to tell that his dad like hijacked some noble and puppeted the noble's body like a meat puppet or something. It was
Gare,
weird.
at this, like, sentence, Gare's, like, whole face goes completely white. Like, this is the scariest shit he's ever heard in his life.
Oh God, no! Wait, No, don't worry. It's fine. You're not. You'd. I don't know why you're asking this, but I will say that you would certainly know, right? Like this thing that I'm talking about, that guy was dead. It was a dead person who was being possessed, right? So it's not. There was no soul, no take, whatever. Um, Generally speaking, aside from dead guy rumors, that's like possibly the weirdest shit I've ever heard, even speaking as a dragon. Uh, I don't know of any of that. Normally, as far as I'm aware, you kind of have to accept that sort of thing, right? Like you don't.
Accept it?
Yeah, the the whole Loftus deal was the other Gare. I'm gonna call him Gall or Gal or whatever because I
Yeah, that
don't.
makes me way more
It
comfortable as well. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's weird, right? No, I honestly, when I first met you, side note, I was like that. There's no way that they named him that, like whoever his parent. But no, certainly hope not. That'd be weird.
That would be
But
unfortunate.
yeah, no, but the Emperor Gaul, formerly Bishop, kind of that whole pact came about through he met he was contacted by the dragon. They had some chats. He wanted ultimate power, and he started drinking dragon blood and like going through all sorts of dark rituals, and that's how the sort of bond with a dragon god was made. You can't, as far as I'm aware, again, just sort of pop, you're a dragon now, or you're possessed by a dragon. Like they Frank, look, knowing Loftus, who I very, very vaguely, I guess, met one time, but
He
reputation
raises an
precedes it.
eyebrow at this.
Reputation precedes it. If someone like that could just sort of take over an emperor and wanted to do it, why the hell would he go through the whole, you have to drink the blood of dragons and sacrifice children? That's not exactly the actions of someone who can just take over a body whatever he wants, That
Ah,
that's weird.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. So, stay away from dragon blood, I guess.
Uh, Now, if you don't mind my asking, why are you asking about this?
Gare looks suddenly like a little guilty, maybe. Like, oh no,
Uh,
my cleverly disguised secret is out. Uh,
oh no.
how could he have seen through my ruse? And he's just gonna look a little bit uncomfortable for a second. He says, "Well, you explore weird practices and religions and beliefs and stuff when you're a kid, and you don't exactly know the full story, so maybe I have a couple items to get rid of, and I just want to make sure that there's no vengeful deity that's gonna hunt me down and turn me into a sock puppet because of it."
Which deity?
Gare does not answer that question, and he looks uncomfortable. Say,
Don't.
Archibald, if you were to recommend, just hypothetically, the best way to get rid of, some old Loptus cult stuff, how would one go about doing that?
Oh,
Me?
okay. Uh, fr- oh wow. All right. Well, quickest way? Chuck it into the woods or whatever. Get it as far away as it can, or burn it or whatever. Most surefire way? find the nearest thing you can to a divine dragon, whether that be divine dragon or like one of the weird crusader ghost things or anything that sort of glimmers like with holy light, from the heavens or whatever. And basically find the nearest god and ask it to just like blast the shit out of whatever you've got. What have you got?
He just kind of looks put on the spot for a moment. For maybe feeling around on his person towards one of his pockets, and out of his pocket he pulls out a pendant on a thin string, which is a crudely carved visage of the dark dragon himself. It seems to be quite old, a little bit chipped.
Aha! Oh boy. That's a familiar sight. Been a while. Okay. That, oh. Where did you get, where do you even come across this stuff?
I mean, there's traders everywhere, Some of them have weird stuff, and, when you're young, you buy dumb shit. What do you want from me?
Okay, so, you just stumble across, but now, in the time since you've acquired this, and this is kind of important, have you had any dreams in which anything that looks even remotely like that, I say pointing to the little carved figure on the amulet, has anything that looks remotely like that ever contacted you? And have you ever said yes to anything that it has asked?
Oh, gods, no. No. If anything contacted me, anything at all, I would have immediately. And then he just kind of sits there for a second, and he pinches his brows and says, well, I don't know what I would do, but I would have done something.
Weird dreams associated with this thing at all? No?
Not that I remember. Listen, man, I just want to get rid of it now. I don't need this on me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He kind of tries to hand it to you. Take
Oh,
it.
boy.
Yours now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hang on. How about you just put that on the floor? Just put that on the ground right now.
He drops
there.
it.
Yep.
It bounces a little bit. He stares at it. He stares at you. Waiting for step 2.
Okay. I'm getting the implication that you really just want me to take this off your hands right now.
I mean, if it's not too much trouble. You're already a dragon, so it probably won't do anything to you, right?
Bro, how long have you had this?
Oh boy. Oh wow. I certainly
Listen,
well,
can you get rid of it for me or not? I don't need that with me anymore.
we're going to a temple, right? Whose temple is it we're going to?
Sed's temple. Sed's tower.
Said, right, yeah. Wind.
Wimdy. It's fucking Wimdy.
Garlic as it's fucking Wimby now.
I think that God, are there priests? Are there still priests there? Is that one an abandoned shrine? That one's an active shrine, right? There's priests and shit.
Gare makes a noise.
Oh boy. We're definitely going to want to see about getting this properly disposed of. I don't suppose you've ever tried to burn it or anything.
Again, he looks slightly guilty. He says, well, I didn't want to burn it until recently.
And have you tried since then?
Well, I just decided I didn't want to burn it about 4 minutes ago. What do you want from me?
Oh. Huh. I look over. How far away is everyone from us?
I'm gonna say maybe like 10 feet. Out of earshot.
Shit.
Oh.
No creating dragon bonfires in the cave.
I mean, there's a fire lit.
Hmm. Merchant. Handing out weird element. Oh boy. I tell you what. And I'm gonna like take a cloth and I'm gonna wrap it in like a cloth in like a little, just like fold it up and then wrap it again and again and then look at it and like holding it by the top like you hold like a bag of dog poop and I don't want to touch the like actual body of this thing and look at it and then say no and then take out like just a whole burlap sack and like just like dump it in there all on its own and tie that up with like 4 knots
Gare
and then
breathes a sigh of relief as it disappears.
put it on like a stick, like a long stick, like a bindle, and be like, "Yep, yeah, we're
I
gonna,
appreciate it.
yep, no problem. I hope, no problem."
uh, After watching you just like, I think, dangle this bag of unknown dark artifact in front of you on this stick for a while, he's gonna just frown and he's gonna say, well, thanks a lot, I guess. If anything tries to contact me in my dreams, like you said, I'll make sure to give them your location instead.
Oh, well, I feel like they know where I am, or they would know where I am. But yeah, sure, no.
Gare like side eyes you again, like, huh?
I'm just saying, if I were like a spirit of a dead dragon looking out into the world, then I feel like I'd see another dragon first before a person. Whatever. No, it's okay. Let's.
Uh-huh.
We should get rid of this
Yeah, we
as
should
soon as
get rid of
possible.
this right now. Or
Yeah.
soon. I don't even know
Do
if
we
it's
want to just?
magical.
Do we feel like just kind of chucking it in the fire in front of the group and seeing if it
What's the
burns?
worst that could happen?
Oh, never asked that about throwing some artifact in a fire.
Gare, once again, very pale.
Yeah, just
Gare's gonna walk into his tent tonight and have a heart attack.
no.
No!
Uh, you know what? I think that in this instance, clearly we have no idea, right? So let's play it safe, as in,
Should we have maybe uh the kid check it over? And he points at vaguely at where Edwin is playing with string. He knows magic, right? Maybe you could see if it's the real deal or whatever. The gods aren't gonna want to
I,
mess with him, right? He's just some guy.
I hope. I mean, I would certainly hope. Uh, maybe not Godfrey. I don't know if I want to show this to Godfrey. This feels like it. No,
Gare just
let's
kind of
not.
like shrugs, like whatever you say, man. You're driving the car now.
Yeah, you go. Hey, you go get the kid. I'll stay here.
He gets to his feet, kind of stumbling a little bit as he's just like, as fast as he can, stands up. He goes over to where Edwin is by the fire and he says, "Hey, you, Edwin,
Yeah.
Uh,
Hi?
can you come take a look at something for a second, perhaps? Just really quickly."
Yes, but you should know that I'm not good at fixing medical issues.
Who said there was
If
a
it's
medical
that.
issue?
Oh no, that's just what usually people think that I for some reason am good at healing
He
because
squints at you for a
magic.
second, and he mumbles something that sounds a lot like, "Aren't you the one who learned recover?" And then he shakes himself off because that's not even remotely the issue at hand. And he gestures back to where Archibald's still standing with this thing, I assume at the end of a long stick.
Oh yeah.
Edwin has no idea what's going on, but he's like, okay,
You've
and
been invited
gives
to
the
boys' night.
Boys' night.
He gives the string ball back to Octavia.
Hey, don't miss it. Ah, it's jumbled again.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll finish up your cloak in a minute.
Thanks. I'll come back to the string when I'm done with Edwin like looks over at whatever the hell is going on.
Octavia
over there.
looks back at them and she's like, okay, have fun.
Yeah. Edwin goes over to boys' night in the woods.
You're just in the back of the cave. You're like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Gare just kind of like motions to Edwin, and then motions to Archibald, and then motions to the bag, and says, I brought him.
Yeah. Oh god, this is like a. Oh, you fucker. I see what you're doing. I see this.
Can you
I was
take
about
a
to-
look at the item that Archibald has, perhaps?
uh,
Edwin?
yeah, I can. Is it in the bag there?
Yep. And I will undo one layer of the bag, and then layer 2, and
Yeah.
3. And when I'm down the last one, I'm like, okay, so I just sort of pull everyone into like a huddle. Saying, you wait, you studied magic and history and all of that stuff more
Yeah.
so than everyone else here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you know about disposing of or detecting magical artifacts?
That's not totally my specialty, but I might know a little bit about maybe
Like, if you
disposing
looked
of
at an
them.
artifact, could you say, yeah, that's evil, or that's not evil, or
Oh
something?
yeah, I have no idea. You'd have to show me the artifact.
I open the thing and show him the artifact.
Alright, Edwin.
Can I like roll?
Yeah, that's a dark magic roll.
Woo.
Or if you want to
Oh,
make
boy.
another magic roll. Or any roll,
Um,
really. Acrobatics, fling it.
My my proficiency would be anima magic, I believe,
You
but I
can
don't
try
know
to
if that
detect
applies.
anima magic on it.
Maybe I should have made another dark magic roll alongside this because, duh.
Yeah, you can check it.
You can
Yeah,
all check
no,
it.
you do the main
Gare's not
check,
gonna
but I
check
will
it because he's
also.
afraid of the answer.
Yeah, no shit.
Looking for my modifier.
Oh, I just got an
Okay,
11.
it's plus proficiency if I'm proficient in anima magic, right?
Repeat that?
If I have a proficiency in the thing, I add the like
Yes,
4
you
for
add
Okay.
the proficiency and then the modifier.
Okay. 21
21.
Jesus.
You rolled
for anima magic.
anima. You
Yeah.
do not detect any anima magic whatsoever.
Check
In
dark
fact,
magic there, buddy.
you would go as far as to say this thing isn't even magic at all. It
Oh.
just kind of looks like a wooden pendant.
What does an 11
Well-
in dark magic get me?
After a moment of concentrating hard, you come to the same conclusion. You don't detect magic on this thing. In fact, now that Edwin, when you look closer at it, and you're a Jugdral scholar, you know things, it's not even like an accurate Loptus cultist pendant. It's like sort of a homemade DIY Pinterest situation.
Yeah.
So you take one look at it, and it's you could say within like reason, like this is not an artifact. It is perhaps an imitation of an artifact, but no dark god is listening in through this shitty wooden pendant.
Got like one eye higher than the other.
Yeah, no, like you look at it's like, hey, is that raw macaroni?
I was just
Archibald
thinking
and
with
Gare
like
have just been like
popsicle cartoon characters.
Archibald and Gare have just been like avoiding looking at the thing, like
Don't look at it.
and don't think about it. And then
Yeah.
Edwin, who has again like actually like potentially detrimentally low fear, just walks up, looks at things like those eyes are crooked.
Yeah, I think Edwin just like picks it up in his hand and is like, I'm pretty sure it's just a piece of wood.
Are you sure? How can you
Yeah,
tell?
I mean, I can't tell. I can't find anything magical about it in terms of the magic I'm used to. Um, and also, it's not very good. It doesn't actually look like laughter at all,
Huh. And then
or
Gare
lobfish.
looks at Archibald, and in a split-second decision, he grabs the pendant out of Edwin's hands and runs to the fire and dunks it in.
Octavia's just like, what the fuck?
And Edwin is also like, okay.
Octavia just
Archibald
looks at
does not
Gare.
say, but watches this and just thinks, "Oh, I hope burning that doesn't count as a sacrifice. Please don't count as a sacrifice. Please don't count as a sacrifice."
There
no.
is no like draconic howl. There's no like flames of torment. The fire just, puffs up for a bit because it just got new food, and then it just burns away at the pendant. The pendant is gone before you even notice. Gare stands over the fire, like mid-action pose, just like watching it go.
Just from the background, he hears "woo," just like slow clap.
Gare breathes out very quietly through his teeth, and about 30 seconds after the pendant has fully dissolved, he looks at Archibald and he says, "That's the scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
Buddy.
Honestly,
I think I need to go to bed now."
like, actually, props to you. Like, just like you look the potential of like a dark god in the face.
He's
like,
gonna like hold his hand up and interrupt you and be like, don't make this any worse than it has to be.
Okay.
It's done. I'm not gonna think about it anymore.
Nope. No more thinking.
We're not gonna talk
just
about
sleep.
this.
Just sleep.
I'm going to sleep.
Yep. Okay.
And then he straightens up. He smooths out his clothing as if he wasn't just like spent the past 20 minutes or so in various stages of about to flip out. And then he just slowly marches over to his tent and climbs on in.
Here.
Are the rest of you
Octavia.
okay?
What the fuck was that?
Thankfully, it seems nothing.
Okay.
Edwin's like somewhere behind him is just kind of like shrugging, like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's just a weird pendant. Checking that it's not, cursed or whatever. Clearly not. It's now a pile of ash. So
Octavia looks at the fire and she's like, okay. Glad that it worked out.
Amalthea has woken up during the chaos, and she is similarly confused to what Octavia is right now, but she doesn't really ask questions because whatever's happened, it's already over.
Yeah, she missed the action.
She's just kind of like, oh, what are they screaming about? I don't. Good night. All right. Would anyone like to do anything else before bed?
I would say that Octavia finished doing the repairs on Edwin's cloak.
Excellent.
They switch.
Edwin
So
thanks her profusely.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna try and get through some of mine. Mine aren't as bad, so I should be able to do it before bed. So she just,
Oh, okay.
if you want to help with the read though, because we'll probably need some more, and it'd be best if it's not in a jumble for next time.
Yeah. Edwin will pick apart the thread ball until he gets too tired to see it properly, probably, and goes to sleep.
Mm.
All right. Does everyone else also meander off to sleep eventually? Or
Who wants to be watch?
yeah, is anyone on watch?
I will say, if Octavia's still like sewing and repairing stuff, she can take first watch, and then who wants to take second watch?
I'll take
Always-
second, I guess.
Val always volunteers for last watch because he wakes up pretty early anyway.
Mm-hmm. We do 2 watches or 3 watches a night.
I don't
Depends.
fucking
How
know.
long do you want to be awake?
Well, I don't want to be awake that long,
All
so
right,
how
then
about we
three
do 3
watches,
watches?
3 watches.
Yeah.
All right, so Valente,
Okay.
it's Octavia Archibald Valente.
Fun.
The night goes by quite smoothly. Nothing attacks you in this little cave. Nothing even seems to notice that you're in here. The only eventful thing that happens during the night is during Valente's watch. At some point, like close to very early in the morning, Godfrey makes an appearance. Not to like go off and do anything, but he just kind of hovers outside his tent for a second. He makes eye contact with Valente. He scurries off towards where Octavia's tent is, puts something in front of the tent flaps, and then goes back to bed.
Val's
does not say
going
anything.
to. Val, when he enters, when he exits his tent first, raises an eyebrow. But when he does, he leaves with, hopefully a gift and not a bomb. Val like smiles at him and nods approvingly. Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
What's the date approximately?
Approximately? Oh, Jesus. It's still summer, so, maybe it's been, about a week and a half since you found, Aulus's dilapidated boat. So, it's probably around the event that I'm thinking that you're thinking of.
Can we say that it is?
Sure, yeah, I'll give you that.
Sure. All right. So today is Isaiah's birthday, one of the 4 days in which Val actually lets himself think about his family and his wife for longer than 30 seconds. So if anyone does any sort of check about, like, I mean, you'll probably smell it pretty easily because you're all very aware of what this smells like. And at this point, Val's gonna have that numbing salve on his side, and he doesn't usually do this, but he will be writing garlic, which is quite odd. Usually he doesn't do that because he feels like A, it puts him above everyone unfairly, and B, like, if anyone has, like, blisters or something, he prefers that they take the rest. But it seems like he just does it and doesn't. And also, he doesn't talk unless, like, this. He seems weirdly distant. Like, he's usually distant, but, like, he isn't making eye contact with anyone, and he's speaking as little as possible.
Oh, poor Valente.
So, happy birthday, Isaiah!
Happy
Oh.
birthday.
Oh, alright. Well, as Valente comes to terms with the fact that this is, in fact, one of the days, everyone else is slowly starting to wake up for the morning. Octavia, you find something outside your tent while you are exiting it.
Octavia is confused, but she picks it up.
It appears to be. Oh, fucking Facebook! Get out of here!
It's Facebook.
It's Facebook. Wow, new invention.
Wow.
No social media has been left outside your door. It appears to be a small bottle with a note attached.
Octavia opens and reads the note.
In like small capital letters, it just says, "Sorry for making you cry." Unsigned.
Unsigned.
No, it is
Oh my
not
God.
signed.
Octavia like takes a minute thinking about. At first, she's just kind of confused, but then when she sees the note, she's like, "Oh." And I think after it's been like at least like 2 to 3. Has it been like 2 to 3 days since
Yeah,
the event?
it's been a couple days.
Yeah, it's probably the most like as she parses it out. It's probably been the most relaxed that she seems since that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, she feels much more relaxed. She's like, okay, that's okay. He doesn't hate me. That's nice. That's good to know. And and then like I would assume like does she know what the bottle is?
Thankfully, like the rest of the things that exist in Godfrey's house, it has been meticulously labeled. It is a bottle of spirit dust. This is a stat boosting item. It grants +2 to magic, and it's worth 200 gold.
Oh wow.
You can add that to your inventory, or you can just eat it. You can just use it.
Is it like permanent?
Yeah, permanent.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's
Get that
one
fire
hell of an
magic.
apology gift.
Oh my god. And I would Octavia just like keeps the note. She's keeping the note. Like I'm gonna put it in her non-combat inventory.
Godfrey's shitty apology note.
Godfrey's shitty apology.
It's like, it's also like, you could tell this is not like a nice piece of paper that he found. This is like ripped from his notebook. It's like got stains on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the charcoal is a little bit smudged.
Oh god, ripped from one of his 300 copies of Arclight.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm gonna make that canon. It's
Yep.
it's an Arclight page that's been singed.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord.
Whose man is this?
Here, I have a question. Would Godfrey have done this if Val hadn't said something?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So it was great. Valente, good on you for speaking. Like, do you want Valente to have this? It's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
this is for you, baby. This is Val. If Val finds out, like Val wants you to have this because it was made for you, and also, I mean, today's a very bad day for Val anyway. But he's got his tiny victory of I was a good mediator / friend.
You were.
You did
After
it.
20 years, I can figure out how to talk to people. Let's go.
Let's
Nice.
go.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Nailed
Fucking
it.
mood.
Octavia takes the spirit dust.
All right, excellent. Well then, does anyone else have anything to do before it's time to set out? Oh,
Not
by the
unless
way,
you got any weird dreams.
no one had any weird dreams last night.
Huh.
Huh.
No player
Is that
character
stupid
or no
statue?
character?
No.
No one.
I mean, as far as you know, nobody had any weird dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
But
That means one of the NPCs did.
say that I said none of the player characters had weird dreams. Maybe an NPC did, maybe he didn't. Who can say? But Octavia, as a side note regarding the previous conversation, as you were like packing up to get ready to leave, Godfrey does not mention this. He does not seem to acknowledge that this is something that has happened. It seems that he's basically like, well, everything is fine now. Resume friendship.
Okay.
Fixed.
Octavia doesn't try to. I would think like as they're picking up, like as they're just like passing by casually, she just says and leaves it at that.
The mic did not pick that up.
So she's just says, "Thank you,"
And
leaves it at that.
you maybe get like a sound of acknowledgement, but it might have just been the sound of someone picking something up. So,
Yep. Who's to say? Who's to say? Do I add spirit dust to buffs?
No, you would add it straight to your stats.
Okay.
That is not something that can be removed from your body once you take it.
Okay.
But yes, you guys are ready to set out for the capital. I'm not gonna make you guys make another traversal check unless you would like to. Would anyone like to make a traversal check, or would you like to?
It could be fun.
Okay, make another traversal check, somebody, and pick a target.
I'm going to do it because I suggested it, and also I'm feeling like getting fucked over by the universe.
You can't
I
pick
was
yourself.
second.
You can't
Since
pick
I
yourself.
chose this, can I sacrifice myself here
No, you
also?
can't pick
because-
yourself. You can't pick yourself.
Oh, boo.
Octavia volunteers. Hey,
Aw,
we're
yeah.
switching.
You should
Come on,
throw
we're
Gare
switching
under the bus for all that he put you through.
Or like, if you want to choose Gary, you can choose Gary, but I'm volunteering Octavia if you want.
I feel like Gare showed some sort of growth here. It's wrong to punish him for that.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. And there's no way it's going to be Amalthea.
No
You're
way.
not gonna sacrifice the baby?
No!
That's fair. Good choice.
Fuck.
People?
Oh. Okay, that's a 9.
A 9?
Oh,
Who was sacrificed?
boy.
I don't remember.
Me.
Octavia.
Octavia.
Octavia, wow, Octavia.
I want to also point out here that I have a +4 to traversal. So that is
Yep.
that's just the universe. That's
That's
not
more.
But it's okay. It's okay. It happens.
As you guys finally find your way to like actual road, you do notice that once you get into supposed Belhala territory, the dirt paths do become like kind of paved roads, which is nice. Octavia does slip on a little bit of black ice though.
Ow.
Skins her knee. You're gonna start the next battle with -1 HP.
Oh,
Okay. Noted. I'll make a note of that to my
Bruised
notes.
ego and knee.
Well, it's not as bad as the river.
Yes, but soon enough, the supposed city you are aiming for comes into view. And by city, I mean small town with a big-ass tower in the middle.
Dope.
I imagine that's probably the temple thing.
Amalthea says, should we go right in?
I mean, there's no guards around it, right?
There are guards, but they're not, like, closing it off. It's more just, like, protect the town sort of guards.
Making sure no one's, like, graffitiing the temple. or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Okay. So we can go check it out now. I mean, like, what time of day is it?
It is, you've probably just gotten up from camp. It's been maybe, like, a couple hours since walking, so it's still morning.
Okay, yeah. It should be totally fine. So if it seems like open, I say that we go check it out.
It is open.
Oh.
So the first level of this tower that you reach, is sort of like not really a reception area, but like people just milling about, you know, chatting. A lot of people in like robes, clerics, maybe a few mages. So this is an area where mages hang out, which makes sense. You know, tower to the mage guy. This would
Yeah.
be where they hang out. So there's just a bunch of people hanging out, really. Notably, there's a lot of elderly people, just, you know, old sages, old wizened sages. There's a guy in the corner talking to a couple, like, you don't know if they're clerics or whatever, but a couple girls. There's you know, traders sitting in here and there. None of them seem to be selling like magical items. It's mostly just like, buy this pot that I made, that kind of thing. Pot being the implement, not the substance. Happy 420.
Wait, was this the weed joke?
No, it is not. It was just an accident. The weed
I
joke is
think
still
I
out
know
there
the
somewhere.
weed. I think I already know the weed joke that's coming.
Oh, do you know?
And I'm, yeah. Fucking check your DMs. I want to know if I'm right at the end of this. Don't say it now, but go off.
Listen, I made. There's a reason I made. I was like, can we please let it be July 29th? I say his birthday. Val on drugs. Let's go.
Val on drugs. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, but there just seems to be a lot of people. So a bunch of elderly folks, a guy talking to a bunch of girls in a corner, and some merchants.
This episode is like a Rorschach test for 420, where like we keep doing things that seem like a drug deal, and we see the weed jokes coming everywhere, but
I mean,
it's
yeah,
not
Octavia
there.
just got a bunch of magical cocaine. Like,
I
no one
And
said
yeah.
you take it orally.
To be fair, you said that if Val didn't do anything, that wasn't gonna happen. So that was I caused that, not
Yeah.
weed.
Hooray! Busty's getting stoned.
All right. What do y'all? What's your guys' move? You're now in this tower.
I'm curious what the guy surrounded by girls is doing.
He seems to be talking to them.
What is he
In
talking
a-
about?
Are you approaching alone or are you approaching with everyone else?
I would
Ah.
say.
Approaching.
Wait, what?
I said, no matter what you do, Val is not approaching.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Octavia will probably just tell Edmund like, "Hey, let me know if you need anything, or you go up to the next floor. I'm just gonna go check out what's going on over there. I'm curious."
Okay, sure.
As you approach, it seems that this dude is like chatting these 3 women up.
Oh god.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
They turn to you as you approach, and the guy's just got kind of like a smirk on his face, like, hell yeah.
Oh no.
Samantha.
Octavia just has a smile.
Samantha's impression of the Playboy. Hell yeah.
No, not hell yeah at Octavia approaching like, hell yeah, I am already surrounded by women.
Yeah. But also Octavia's just like she's curious. And
are you gonna introduce yourself, announce yourself in any sort of way?
I would say she does. She's like, "Oh, sorry, I just saw this group going on. I was curious."
Hello
my
there. The guy turns to you and with one like cocked eyebrow, he says, "Hello there."
Hello.
Guy.
I'm Via. What's your name?
My name is Jory. And these are my 3 girlfriends.
Oh
Octavia just like raises an eyebrow slightly, and she looks at all 3 of these girls to see their response.
Yeah, they seem to agree with this. They're all wearing what seems to be like apothecary outfits.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
Oh no.
What? We knew this was happening. Why are you saying oh no?
Oh.
We walked into this.
Yeah.
We walked into this head held high, and you're saying oh no?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just like, oh my god, it really is happening. Okay,
It's him.
I did. I'm calm. I'm calm. Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh god.
So you guys just hang out here?
Yeah, we're just hanging out here, and he just smirks to his girlfriends.
How old is this guy?
They all 4 of them seem to be in maybe their early 20s.
Okay, this makes. Okay, all 4 of them are in their early 20s. That's good. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just new here. I was just curious. Well, I honestly don't think what else she would say unless they offered to say something. One of them.
Here for the fucking guy and his 3 weed smoking girlfriends joke. There wasn't a plan. There was a bit. There was a bit.
Well,
bit.
speaking of that, one of the girls approaches you and she whispers in your ear very quietly about perhaps you being interested in purchasing some of their wares.
Octavia responds, "What are you selling?"
It's called a butt. It's called a bunt.
Oh, I'm making noises that my mic can't register as human. Oh,
Oh god.
oh, that was like gurgling. Oh,
Sorry.
fuck.
I'm okay now.
Shit.
Okay. What does it do?
She explains that it's a medical item with healing properties.
Oh,
Perfect for a group of warriors such as yourself.
How much?
30 gold.
And Octavia's just like, this isn't the good kush. Just thinking in her head, this is not the good stuff. But she's also like, well, I'm a patron of burgeoning businesses. So,
Would you like to
at
buy
30
the bunt?
gold, I will buy a bunt.
All right. The girl discreetly pulls out something from her apron before sliding it into your pocket. As she
And
takes the
Octavia-
gold from you.
Yeah. Octavia also, like, slides the gold into her pocket.
And then the four people, after, like, nodding to you, like, good day, madam, shuffle away. If you were
Okay.
to explore the item in your pocket, you would find that it is 5 herbs wrapped in paper. You can add 5 herbs to your. You can add 5 herbs to your inventory.
5.
now, so now that we've got that, I have to ask earlier, and Sam, you know, because I DM'd you this. On the way in, was it Octavia who found some herbs walking in on the road? And
It was either Octavia or Edwin.
I think it was Edwin, because
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
usually
Edwin.
the
Like, Octavia
the
didn't get
problem
any
child.
herbs this session. Except for now.
what kind of herbs are those?
They're all the same type of herb.
Herb is herb.
Herbs can be made into vulneraries.
I see. So
Herbs to be
Edwin can
exchanged for goods and services.
pick up the marijuana on the road in.
Godfrey will make
Edwin
weed
wouldn't
soup
know
for
if he
you.
picked up.
Octavia's
Edwin
thinking, like,
wouldn't
well,
know if he picked it up.
Yeah. So Octavia's like, well, Godfrey could probably use this. I'm gonna give it to him later.
He looks like he needs a
No, it's more like, okay,
nightmare
I've had
blood
herbs
rotation. It's
I'm like,
just Godfrey.
the nightmare blood rotation is upon us.
But yes, these 3 folks have filtered out of the room, and now that you're standing sort of by the staircase, you can see up the stairs, and it appears that the library floor is on the stairs, the floor above you.
Okay, I would say after that, Octavia makes a beeline for Edwin and it's like, hey, books, upstairs.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, are you guys all traveling upstairs?
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
All right, you are met with a quiet yet surprisingly packed library. There's a lot of people in here, and they all seem to be reading.
That does track.
There are lots of shelves in here, all full of books.
Well, Edwin is gonna do what he does best and search this library for books about, well, I would say Jugdral history, but this is Jugdral, so, just history.
History books? All right, you want to make a scholastics check for me?
I do. Oh, what number is that? Okay, also a 21.
21? Oh, okay, awesome.
21.
Found a whole bunch of stuff. The first book you find is a small book on the history of the Silesian royal family from ye olden days. It's got all sorts of important historical figures, such as Lewin and the wife he left and all of his kids.
Yeah.
You also find a big document called the Fenora Treaty, It seems to be a copy, not an original, but it seems to discuss, travel and trade agreements for like the Eid Desert area, who's allowed where, and when, that sort of thing. Unknown whether these are still in effect. These laws written here.
Interesting.
You also find a Silesian law book, an introduction to Silesian law, which is about as heavy as you are. So they got a lot of laws here. But apparently the warmer areas of the country are quite favorable and subject to a lot of property related rights. This is clearly an edited version by Belhalla, because it does mention how much of Celeste Belhalla owns, but useful nonetheless. The author has written, in a page you flip to randomly, the author has written that the upper parts of Celeste are a cold, dead wasteland that only a madman would choose to inhabit by choice. And considering you were just there in the summer, perhaps you agree.
Well, that tracks because that's Godfried. All
We're
right.
still in the murder
Well,
house art, by the way.
I don't know if anyone was like sticking around Edwin, but he's probably been like hoarding all these books for a moment. And he probably returns to like a table or something to like plop them all down and look at his findings.
Okay.
that
So you
research,
are
Kane.
reading all these delicious
Yeah.
Silesian history books. What's everyone else up to?
Sorry.
Val is going to sit down and stare forward unless someone asks for her.
Mm-hmm.
Octavia can smell ointment, so she knows, like, okay, don't. Valente needs alone time. So, I would say, well, if we're gonna, it seems like Edwin's gonna be doing research for a while, so I'm thinking she's browsing the books to see just randomly what catches her eye.
Sure. Do you want to make any sort of scholastics check, or do you want to just vibe?
Yeah, I'll make a scholastics check and see what I find. It's more in the sense like she's not trying to find like legal stuff or history stuff. It's more like she's trying to find like folktales and legends.
Mm-hmm.
Because that sounds much more interesting to read to her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so scholastics. An 11.
An 11. Unfortunately, you don't find any folk tales or legends. This seems to be a purely academic library. You do
No
find
worries, it's
you
fun
do
here.
catch a glimpse of something called theoretics of blood magic, but that doesn't fit your description, so you keep walking.
Wait, can Octavia stop for a moment?
Yeah, you may.
What? Octavia,
You pull out.
Something incredibly interesting and fucked up, but since that's not what you were saying you were looking for, you don't look at.
You pull out the book and you begin investigating it. It seems to be very much like a theoretical magic book, not actually a tome itself. But it outlines the potentials of ethical blood magic, including some like vague ideas for perhaps a light-based version of a tome called Jormungand, which you haven't come across yet. Someone has noted in the cover of the book that the author was imprisoned for blasphemy at the time of its creation, but they have very flowery writing, so you're not sure whether they were burned at a pyre or promoted to the army.
Oh, that's the difference. I will say, when Octavia finds it, because it does sound interesting, like creating another tome, especially because she's heard of, I think, based on the feedback they got, she's heard of Jormungand.
Yeah, probably. Jormungand.
Yeah.
It is a dark magic tome that makes you ooze out of your orifices.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but making a light magic version, part of her's like, what would that even look like?
Bad.
Bad.
It would look bad.
Wait,
Vibes
wait,
rank.
wait. I just had it. Wait.
Uh-oh. What? What's up?
I'm just thinking, would it look like explosion?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Perhaps
What?
it would look like exploding a person.
Yeah. Octavia, after she finished reading the bit, she's just gonna casually hold it. She's not gonna make a big deal, but she's gonna go to. Who's closer? What's Godfrey doing?
Godfrey is just like kind of pulling stuff off the shelves, looking at it, and then putting it back. He seems to be in the like actual tome section of the library. But he's not making any faces like, my favorite tome. He's mostly just like idly flipping through stuff.
She approaches with the book and she's like, okay, I'm probably maybe giving you something you already know. So if so, I could just put it back on the shelf, or I could talk to people, whatever. Here, and she just like gives it to him, like, huh.
He looks confused as he takes it, and then he opens it and he reads the note on the inside cover, and he says, "Well, that's a little confusing, isn't it?"
Yeah, it doesn't really explain what happened. And I mean, if they did the former thing, why would they have the book here? So,
I don't know.
does it mean the latter?
I don't know, but this is definitely an interesting book. And he flips through it a little bit more, and then he looks around a little bit, taking note of where the guards are in the room. And he said, in a very low voice, he says, "Do you think they'll notice if I take this?"
Are you good at stealing things and sneaking out and not getting caught?
No.
Okay, maybe we should ask Archibald to take it out.
Oh, shit.
Because he's better at that.
He locates Archibald. Archibald, where are you in the room?
Honestly,
Archibald,
just kind of
okay.
wandering around looking at
Sorry.
nothing
Sorry,
in particular.
Godfried slowly makes his way over to Archibald, still holding this book, stopping next to him, and just kind of like pretending to pull other books down from the shelf, as he like bumps the spine of this book against Archibald's hand, like, take it.
Oh, I take it and look at it because I have no.
Octavia walks over towards them casually and is like, there's a weird spell in it. That sounds like shoes. No.
Sounds like fun.
Okay.
You
I'll
think you
put
could
it
Octavia
over.
gives him
hide
like
it?
a slight look at that point, but is also like, okay, I guess we're selling this point in case anyone's overhearing.
Archibald gives like a look like, well, that's ominous, and hides it away under his cloak. Do I have to roll for this?
Yeah, sleight of hand.
I'm gonna do it like I'm
Can
just
we-
like.
Can we do with advantage? Because like Octavia and Godfrey are like blocking him.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, let's see. Attempt number 1. Ooh, that's bad. Attempt number 2. Oh, that's good. That's really good. That is a sleight of hand. Jesus Christ, that's a 23.
I'm
yeah.
I'm even gonna let you take a second book if you want. Pick one out,
Yeah.
Bestie.
Stealing from the library.
Whatever the thing Archibald was looking at, Samantha, this is entirely you. Like, you do whatever.
Hold on,
What-
I'm gonna roll
Archibald
I'm
is
gonna
just
roll 5. I'm
perusing
gonna roll a
at-
d5. Wait, one sec. Oh, I fucked it up. Alright, you're gonna pick up a copy of Suspirium. It is a tome. I don't know what it does off the top of my head.
Oh, is this size?
Suspirium. One second.
Yeah,
I like the
Archibald
movie.
was like just kind of poking around at the books, and he rolled so high on that sleight of hand, I'm gonna say he's distracted by the fact that he's just been handed a book and straight up just
Okay,
pockets
so-
both of them in one fell
So I
swoop.
bet you're wondering what
Really?
Suspirium does.
Uh-oh.
Suspirium is a one-handed colorless tome. It does 2d20 dark magic. It gives you plus 10 skill to your inventory. But you have to have a dark
God.
affinity to actually wield it.
Oh,
Okay, so we're in the clear as of now. What
How
the
much
fuck?
is it worth?
It's worth 1,200 gold. It is a
Holy
ratty
shit.
old. It is a ratty old tome that has clearly killed people
Oh.
before.
Shit,
Oh my god.
I've only got
God.
one inventory spot though. Damn.
Okay,
Quick, we'll have to pass it
I
on.
want to
Oh,
keep this
you know what?
so
No,
bad.
hang on.
I mean, the first
the-
book goes
the-
in your
the
non-combat
weapon-
inventory because it's not a tome.
can you
Oh.
just?
Oh yeah, never mind.
It's just
I'm
a
good.
book.
I'm good.
Yeah. It's just.
Yeah.
Can if you're holding it, do you still get the plus 10 skill without the dark affinity?
You do. You just can't use it.
Hot.
What?
Sorry, my friend says that all the time.
No, you're so right.
No, that's
Right?
why it was wonderful. I was not like, haha, idiot. I was like, yes, it is sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
Archibald like pockets the book, not realizing that he's got two. He thought he just put one in, and then he just sort of like puts his hand like over his like heart, where like one of his like coat pockets is on the inside. He's like, "What the hell? Why do I feel like weirdly warm and fuzzy?"
Why do I feel suddenly far more accurate?
Octavia's like, hey, we could think about that later.
Uh,
No, I'm not talking like emotion. I'm talking. Never mind. Not the time.
Yeah, later. Either way, later.
as you guys are stealing from this library, you, after a while of Edwin taking his notes, Valente going through it, and everyone else, trying very hard not to get caught by the guards after acting just like the most suspicious 3 people in this whole library.
Octavia has a plan. She can present the weed, the bunt, just
The
in
bunt.
case.
Hey, can
The
I
bunch.
bribe you with this? No.
No, she's like, oh, we got caught. Was smoking a
Uh-oh.
bun.
Bunt in the library.
In the
Whoopsie.
library with my my
With
2
my
friends.
buds.
My
two
buds.
friends.
But after a while, you guys eventually go through all of the tomes in the library, all the books in the library. A lot of them just seem to be either like law related or, you know, history, boring stuff that Edwin is having a ball looking at, but everyone else eventually gets kind of bored. And then you see that there is indeed a staircase on this level too, and upwards you can maybe see a hint of perhaps what could be a chapel or something. Gare, who's kind of been hovering by the staircase, just kind of like sees you looking up and then just like points upwards, like, eh?
Yeah?
Interest?
Do you want to come up with us?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. That's cool.
And then he meanders over to a shelf, pulls something down, makes a face, puts it back, and then continues his journey.
That's fair. Good on him. I would say, like, is Edwin still at his table?
Yeah.
She goes over, is like, hey, chapel's upstairs.
What's upstairs?
The chapel.
Oh. Oh. Okay. He probably just like leaves the books there because he assumes no one's gonna want to put them back anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then,
So he can get back to them.
okay, what's Amalthea doing?
Amalthea's standing by the stairs looking upwards curiously. It's clear she wants to investigate the chapel.
Okay, then Octavia goes to Valente, is like, hey, we're gonna check out the chapel. Do you want to come?
Val says, everyone going?
Garrett's not.
I'll stay then.
Okay. You in a bed.
All right. So, most of party's heading upstairs?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Most of party, you travel up the stairs and you come upon what looks to be a similar scene to what you saw at the Bragi Tower. This time with a proper table for prayer in front of it instead of just the floor. But there is a statue of what seems to be a young man with long hair. There's some decorative swirlies around the statue indicating this is some sort of wind-based person, which makes sense. They've got like a tome open and they've got like a smile on their face. It's all very, serene, nice.
Do they look at all like Lars?
I don't even know what check I would make you pull for that one. History, maybe?
Just more the sense of the vibe and how much.
Oh, vibe check? Yeah,
Okay.
it does. Like, vibe check, you're like, reminds me of that weird little guy we met.
No, it's like she gets that at first, and then Octavia's like, the thought of that weird kid making that face. No.
Yeah,
I
this guy's like
His
too
fucking
serene.
face.
Him face.
I
But-
fucking use this guy's scroll. Am I like even more weird and tingly now being in this temple?
Nope. It doesn't seem like anything is trying to contact you from the beyond just based on
I
the
didn't
scroll
say
usage.
that.
Just
just
your
like,
vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, you
like,
being the paranoid little dude that you are,
Like-
probably,
like one of those,
tingly
like-
as you are usually.
like it's like a wireless charger or something now that I've got like the weird said thing in me. Just like walk in, it's like, ooh,
Oh, said zone.
weird. Yeah. I like being recharged with something. This is weird.
Does he say that out loud?
No.
Gross.
No, that's not. That's not what is happening, according to Sam. Boo.
All right, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have you guys use the shrine with your tokens and whatever money you'd like to use, and then I'm gonna call it a day for the session. And then you can continue exploring next sessions. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
so your gang, you walk up to this table area after observing the statue and all his windy glory. And then Archibald, you remember you've got those 2 tokens in your pocket.
Right. So remind me of the mechanics of these as they were explained to us.
Basically, they will do for you what Lethair did for Edwin. So, you get 1 free item per token, or 1 free class, whatever. And I will tell you what they are, because Lars probably divulged this information. Because it'd be a pretty dick move if he just gave you a bunch of tokens and said, it's a loot
it
box! Though that would be in character.
Oh no, he's into gaming
It's
loot boxes.
Fortnite, #1 victory royale. So basically, your options for this altar are, for 500 gold, you can become a sage. For 1,000 gold, you become an arc sage. For 10 blessed oak, you can acquire tornado tome. You don't become a tornado. And then for 20 blessed oak, you can acquire the skill stillness. And then if you have a major said holy blood, you get that skill, but as far as I'm aware, that does not apply.
Okay.
Sorry, okay, it was Sage.
Sage,
Arch-Sage?
Archsage, Tornado, Stillness.
Okay.
I don't remember what these
I'm
classes
looking
do.
them
Let's all
up.
find out together.
Tornado is 2d10 wind damage affected against flyers.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I am looking for stillness.
Sage.
Stillness is
Oh no, you go first.
unit will not be attacked unless there are no other targets in range. Skill.
The requirement is a skill of 20.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But if we
The
get
opposite
it,
of provoke.
I will ask Sam, if someone gets this and they're not at skill 20, can they still use it?
No, but you can hold on to it until you get to skill 20.
Mm.
As for the classes, Sage is as a bonus action +4 magic to target until user's next turn, so basically it's rally magic. And then Archsage is If foe has less than 10 resistance, magical attacks automatically land, though the unit can choose to roll for a critical success if desired.
That's pretty good.
That kind of slaps.
Yeah, that kind of slaps.
And because this is an alter class, you don't lose
Yep,
your
you
current
just
class.
add it to your alter.
Yeah.
So even if you choose to be clear, if you get a class from an altar, like Sage is a tier 2 class, but does that still go under the
Yep,
altar
it goes.
slot?
If you get it from a means that is not I reclass into this due to leveling up, it's an altar class.
I see.
Especially if you pray at an altar. Hence the name.
And it's
And these are
one-
and the cost of this sage versus archsage is waived by one of these tokens?
Yep.
Okay.
It is waived.
Wow.
We got 2.
You got 2. So
Wow.
you can have 2 people get various items, or you can have 1 person get 2 items. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Or 2 things.
Yeah. I think it would be nice to have archsage for Edwin, but also like if there's other things to use it for, I don't need it. He's very loaded at the moment.
You're the
We ha-
only wind.
You're the only green boy who can use magic in this party. Who can use like wind and has a wind affinity, bro.
Yeah.
Anyone, Archsage,
Yeah.
you don't have to be wind affinity. It could be anyone.
Yeah,
yeah,
just
but-
the tornado tome.
Oh, true.
But like, here's the thing: is we have 2 tokens. First of all, so we can
Yeah.
do this twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Second, like, the only other person currently in the party that could use any of this at all effectively is Godfried. And so it's like, do you want it to be him or you? And it's like, well, might as well be you.
He's not
'cause
real,
he's-
so
yeah,
you take
that's
it.
true.
Well, it technically with 2 tokens, can't it be both?
Yeah, you could pick both.
saying, like, you can even do one for you, one for him. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
it's really up to whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you most want?
Well, I think first choice would be archsage because that's kind of a hot move
Mm-hmm.
to have.
Alright, so
if that's
Edwin's gonna
fine.
use 1 for Archsage.
Yeah. I'll copy paste that.
That was not Fire Emblem.
Yeah, but it was
Zelda.
it was
like,
the
hey,
sound
why
of
does that sound
winning.
like Final
Yeah.
Fantasy?
I don't know that does the class up that doesn't like have a theme song. It does, but it's
It
like not
does.
It
super
has
calm.
one, but I cannot remember it.
It depends on.
I can sing
Just play
the,
Together We
I-
Ride.
Yeah.
I can
Da, 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 da.
No, I know what the unlock potential thing is in Fae. It's
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
But yes, Edwin, you put the token on the table and you think real hard at whoever's listening, like, I would like to become an Archsage, please. And suddenly you feel a little bit more powerful. And in a flash of like light, not only is the token absorbed, but there's a bunch of robes on the table now. Archsage robes.
Oh,
What
cool.
does your drip look like?
Oh, I'm gonna have to draw.
Drip?
Drip.
Yeah, you get new clothes when you reclass. Did you not realize this?
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to copy paste properly.
Mm-hmm. But yes, you get fancy new robes, and you feel a little bit like you've learned something. Some divine magic has gone in your brain. Archibald, as you watch
That's
this, you
not-
now
that's not
understand
really
why
how the cool
perhaps
stuff-
Gare does not like this particular event in the universe. You put a puzzle piece together, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sid speaks to you
Are-
in your mind and goes, "Fuck yeah, little guy, let's go."
Let's fucking go! It's fucking
Let's give you that
windy.
drip.
I have a question. Shoot, no, I just
Yes.
forgot it. God damn it,
Oh, it's okay. You can ask later if you remember.
man. I don't know, I just left my brain, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You can ask me later.
Oh, does the Archsage skill apply to, magic gun?
It does if it's magic. If it's a magic attack.
Well-
Oh, wait, doesn't the accuracy on his attack get worse the longer range it is?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Jesus. Oh.
Oh, you're gonna break the game.
I mean, they have to
Well,
have
it's
less
only-
than 10 resistance. As the game gets harder, that's gonna be
Yeah.
harder and harder to clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can, if he ever goes full villain, he can, like, murder the populace, like, in general, pretty easily. Like, he's got that down.
Of course, Archer. Yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen?
Like, look at Edwin. Look at him.
I'm talking
No,
about Godfrey.
Godfrey.
Oh.
The man,
Yeah.
the creepy
Oh.
blood wizard with a gun.
What's the verdict, folks? Who's getting what?
I mean, I'm not. Val's not there, so Val doesn't give a shit, and I don't give a shit. The more I like giving I like giving both player characters and NPCs a kill.
Yeah.
So I'm down
Yeah,
for whatever.
I think it would help if we end up using the scope a lot.
Yeah, so.
And I
I'm-
can find a nice wind tone somewhere else, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with making Godfrey Archsage too, because I feel like it would pair. If we all remember when we control Godfrey to use his goddamn Grandmaster skill.
Yeah. It's like we end up trying to shoot stuff all the time and not going for the rally, but I think the rally is gonna start getting more useful as we run into things that can kill us better.
Uh-huh. An alter class at this point for Godfrey would probably be good. So
Yeah.
And keep in mind,
I'm
if
good with
you
making him-
put alter classes on yourself, you can always overwrite them later. If you're like, man, this
Yeah.
Mhm.
sucks. You can always be like, all right, I'm gonna change a different class at this alter.
This is balls.
This sucks. I want to go back to being a wizard or whatever.
I want to go back to being a shittier wizard. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a shitty wizard. All right, so the consensus is.
Archsage Godfrey, come on
Alright.
up.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta put it on his sheet. 1 second.
I can paste it in there since I already have
What
it
does
if you want.
Godfrey do about this situation? Do we like?
Is
We're like-
he cool with it?
Somebody hands him a token and he looks at it like confused for a minute. Because he's like, oh, you people are just like gonna give me stuff now?
Yeah, you know what? I hand him the token, say, consider this my apology, I guess, and do your chariot awaits sort of gesture at the.
He
Chloe.
narrows his eyes at you, but well, it didn't explode Edwin, so it probably won't explode him. You are now
How do you
perhaps
use this?
slightly
You're
more
the
off his
first.
shit list than before. And he also puts the token on the altar and gets his new class. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna keep doing the Final Fantasy one because I don't remember the final one. He gets his new skill, he gets his new robes, which he picks up and then promptly says, well, I'm never gonna wear these, but they'll make good rags.
They will.
And
Yeah.
does anyone else want to perform a transaction at the shrine for cash? Or
I don't have
The
enough for
Becoming a sage would be a very sad choice on my part. Like, it would not. It's such a useless fucking
Archibald,
decision
there's
for
so
me.
much more available in your future.
Yeah.
Your lineage awaits.
Oh boy. Oh, you.
Oh me. But yes, if no one else has any transactions to make, I think that is a good place to end the session. Does that sound
Alright.
good? Does
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
have
Sure.
any
Also,
questions?
side note, while I'm holding this book, maybe temporarily, my skill stat is a 22, so that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool. That's
Gotta go fast.
gotta go fast.
Or gotta go accurate, more rather.
Yeah.
I am going to do so much sleight of hand.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, and if you find someone with a dark affinity, You can actually use it.
Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah. Or we can sell it for some hot gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sort of surprised that
skill.
Godfrey ended up with
Skills.
that.
What?
Sorry,
I
what?
said I'm sort of surprised Godfrey didn't end up with Dark Affinity, but
I mean, why would he? He's a light
He's not
mage
evil,
with a
he's just
gun.
weird.
He's just weird.
He's just
Bro,
a
you're-
libertarian.
you're-
We've been through this,
you're
unfortunately.
typecasting him. He's just strange.
He is unfortunately just weird.
But yeah, Trekkie, if you make a new look for Edwin, please do share it with the class.
I will, yes.
Yay.
Excellent. All right. Does anyone have any questions?
What's the curtain support chain?
Oh yeah, let me share that. Hold on. Whoop.
Shoot, I can't see it. Let me come closer. Yay! Thank you, Valente. Thank you, Dwyer.
Oh my god, I also got to rank up with Godfried. Hello?
Yay! Archibald, you've also got to rank up with Godfried.
yay!
Baffled.
Godfrey did not get
Too
a rank up
young.
with
Godfrey, I am no longer Angie. I'm normal now.
No, also, guess who got the first ace support with a party member? Or not NPC party member.
Congratulations, Archibald. You and Gare are now bros for life.
Holy shit! I did it.
It's not an S
You
support,
did it!
but you will perhaps see the fruits of your labor in the future.
Oh, that's nuts. Like, if someone would be like, hey, who do you think
Okay.
will get the first A support in the party? Not Archibald. Like,
Okay. So I'm gonna
With
be.
Gare! Specifically with Gare.
yeah. I love that, though. Like, that's
It's so
really funny.
I have to say, when you first had Gara walk over and sit down and be all awkward, I had this weird like flashback to you making jokes about how you accidentally gave my character like fuck me eyes towards Gare in that one art piece you did. I was like,
well,
this isn't
Cheppy,
about
the
to
S
happen,
support
right?
comes next, so.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't about. She's not about to have this man hit on Archibald.
Hey, you're looking very lizardy tonight.
Oh.
Wink wonk.
Wink, wink.
Oh.
Okay, now I need to know how Archibald would have reacted to that.
Just all question marks, all like, huh? What? Who?
Has Archibald ever been hit on?
No, I can guarantee that. There's so much about like relationships that I haven't bothered to think about for because it's Archibald. But, like that in particular, I have no idea.
There he is, Archibald in the corner.
I love it. I love it.
Guy. What a guy.
What a guy. Easily one of the guys of all time. But yes,
Yeah.
major friendship breakthroughs today on all fronts. Except for Amalthea, she's just chilling, but she didn't have a problem with any of you anyway, so.
Yeah.
Amalthea is the best.
Amalthea is literally just chilling. She's 15,
Yeah.
she doesn't have psychological problems yet.
We're working on
Yeah.
it.
No,
Feels
don't
like.
give her
Wait,
psychological
wait.
problems.
I didn't
Okay,
say I
also
want
still-
her to have problems.
Yeah, we
Archibald
don't.
having 2 A support.
That's good!
It's great. I'm just trying to process.
Archibald best friend machine 9000.
Yeah.
Like,
And will
because
friend
I
you.
adore Archibald. I adore his weird boy swag. I do. I think he's great. But he's he's really weird to people.
Thankfully, there's a lot of weirdos being weird to him back.
Yeah,
true.
Clown to clown
Vibin'.
communication. But yes, like I said, I believe last session, if you get an A support with someone or an S support with someone, you get special bonuses, you get special like things unlocked. Sometimes it's items, sometimes it's something less tangible. Maybe they'll be more willing to divulge information and stuff like that. So
Sometimes you just have to butter a guy up to explain to him that you talked to one of his dead relatives in his backyard.
Well, you're only at a C support, King. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I think you need to wait a bit longer.
I said you have to. I did not say I was done with that one.
Okay, based on what you just posted in chat, Meyer, I vote that next session it starts with Garrett Valente bodying the library somehow.
You could do that.
I mean,
He's just hanging out.
Val's having a bad day. I don't know if today's the day for that.
True. Other day.
For everyone that isn't in the current campaign channel in our Discord, which is everyone watching, I posted Val having B with most of the party except the one he has a crush on is very fucking funny. And this isn't I genuinely find this hilarious because this is very accurate to Val. Val is not, if someone were like, hey, how do you flirt with people? Val would be like, I do things for them until they think I'm nice.
Oh.
So Val doesn't know how to talk. Val just is figuring out how to talk to people again. So it's very in character for him to be like, I just won't talk to him, and then nothing will happen, and that's fine.
All my feelings in here, and eventually I'll die.
Yeah, that's basically how he feels about it. So that's why I find it funny. I'm like, yep, that tracks.
Oh God, poor Valente. Don't worry. maybe Gare will annoy you next session.
Hey,
you don't have to do that.
Well, maybe he wants to do that. He's gotten good at annoying people since last time.
Things turned out well when he annoyed people.
This is very true. I just mean I didn't even expect to tell you guys about Val's crush on Gare because of how little Val is gonna act on it. So anything that happens, I'm pleasantly surprised about.
Ooh, can I share Gare's playlist now?
Yes.
I have to take another look at it. I might have spoilers on it still, but
oh my God, this man's secrets.
This man.
Secrets inside of secrets inside of secrets.
He doesn't even know his own secrets a little bit.
King.
Sam was posting about how she has so much lore about his parents, and he doesn't know his parents.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, buddy, oh, Gare, my
King, you're so full of secrets.
You're so full of secrets that you don't even know it because you can't read the manual.
Poor guy.
Oh, it's so funny though.
The longer we go on learning stuff about Gare, the more I'm like, who the fuck was Melchior? That he just was like, yes, fuck off and go on an adventure. God knows when.
And Gare was like, no, and he was like, yes, and then Gare went, fuck, okay.
Who was that guy? Who is he?
I love
Maybe we'll meet him again. We gotta.
I love all the
power for a random peasant man.
I love all the early session lore, maybe the first 5 sessions, where I did in fact drop a load of lore on you guys. But the campaign was so new and so fresh, and you had so little context that it probably all just went over your heads.
Well, that's why.
And now I get to chuckle about it later, haha, I did a foreshadowing.
I was explaining the campaign to my boyfriend, and I was like, and so we have Gare, whose dad figure question mark made him literally it was dad figure parentheses 8 as many question marks as I thought was appropriate, which was a lot, and parentheses made him go.
When your dad makes you 50-something years old go on a field trip with a bunch of strangers. Absolute Gare moment.
Oh my God,
he's learning and stuff, so it worked. Good call, Melchior.
Great call, even though Gare is having a nightmare of a time 90%.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better, bestie, but if you keep at it, it will get better.
I love that I achieved A support by telling him, among other things, hey, did you know you, share the same name as, Adolf Hitler?
Okay, so A support doesn't necessarily mean, we are friends. It's a degree of trust. Gare is still terrified by everything you've said, and he's a little scared of you. but he now trusts you implicitly when it comes to, can I be possessed by a dark god?
Like, that depends.
Legendary.
Did the dark god ask, and did you say yes? Like,
Listen, he knows like 4 things, and none of them are that.
Legend.
Yeah.
I love him dearly.
He got through life.
I'm glad Gare had a couple of moments this session. I feel like he's just kind of been hanging out.
No.
Yeah.
While
That's
you all
kind of why
poke Godfried with a stick.
He's
That's
like,
kind of
he's
why,
the,
like... No, you go.
No, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna make a joke. I was gonna say he's the like chosen one protagonist with the special holy blood, and we're the like weird guys who show up to have an adventure with him. Except instead of him leading us, he's just kind of there.
Dragged along by the ankle.
Yeah.
oh god.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that, like, that's kind of why I tried to have Val ask, like, hey, I know you're here against your will. Is there anything you want out of this? Because, like, I wanted to, like, you know, have at least, like, a player voice advocating for his interests.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work, because he said no. And I was like,
Okay,
great.
no, but like when you ask that, like, speaking as Gare's pilot, he like didn't have any interest. Like, this man has only recently, recently,
like,
developed any sort of initiative at all.
True.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing, at all, because it makes sense for his character, especially at the time. But, like, I was trying to be like, oh, you know, Gare's kind of just there. Let's see if we can, like, you know, does he have a goal? And he was like, nope. And I was like, okay.
I'm literally just standing here, please.
Whoever just compared him to, like, the anime protagonist just made me have a thought where, when I was describing Archibald as a concept to Sam, I sort of brought up the whole, like, how Manakets and Fire Emblem, like, Tiki, and they, not quite like guides per se, but they're a very old magical being that's there and answers all the questions that other people have. Usually the main lord. In that sense, somehow Archibald's, like, design intent of being the worst, like, spirit guide character or whatever has, like, he's like,
Girl, you are
He
literally in
reconstructed
a
the
story.
trope. You
it's like,
reconstructed the trope, man.
it's literally Gare and I are doing, like, the exact, like, trope pairing, but we both suck.
What
at
if
our
Marth
respective
and Tiki
jobs.
were both like inadequate middle-aged man and dirty boy?
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Magical.
you're the dragon. You're supposed to know whether this shit'll curse me. I don't know. I slept into that.
I do enjoy Gare and Archibald's comedy routine.
It's like,
The circus.
you hold the cursed amulet. No, you hold it, guys. This is like a Taurus trinket.
But yes.
So fun seeing all of our characters either embody or subvert certain roles.
Oh.
Now we need more Malthea
Wife
secrets
is
to balance
violent.
out.
I mean,
We
start
need more
talking to
Malthea
Amalthea.
secrets.
She's around.
Yeah,
I love her.
I love Amalthea so much. It was more just like, especially this section, I just had like, okay, Octavia's gonna be in her funk.
Oh. She got funk.
That was the decision. But she's out of funk now because they're friends again. And she's very happy about that.
Godfrey just like sitting on his like cot that night, like writing in his journal, like, friendship, check mark. We did it, boys. I did friendship.
Give gifts.
Gift given.
Done.
Val and Octavia did the baton pass from Persona on who's going to have a bad time.
Yeah. They did the baton pass as besties.
High five! Baton pass!
Trauma time!
Val is now having a bad one.
Oh no.
No.
Can't we have one good day?
Listen,
No.
Val is going to have a really shitty, like, 2 weeks, and then he'll be okay? Question mark.
Oh, well then that lines up perfectly with the timeline I have planned for you.
Oh boy!
Oh
Oh
boy.
boy.
No,
Can't
not
wait
in a
for
bad
August
way, in like a good
14th.
way. In like a good way.
Okay.
August 14th is when Morgana dies. So yeah, baby.
Worst season of the year.
Yep.
Alright. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for coming. I know this was a bit of a lull session. But
To you.
This was
Had a
so
great
much
time.
fun.
Gare time. Whoa,
Gare
Gare be
time.
upon ye.
And Octavia hanging out with Edwin time. I was really happy we
Yeah.
got to do that.
Trekkie, I can't wait to see Edwin's new outfit. I should
Yes,
design
I wanna draw
Godfrey's
it.
new outfit, even if he's never gonna wear it.
Yeah.
Val
Dress
getting
him up like a little doll.
Val getting beer support with Godfried was not expected, and also I'm very happy about it. I thought
You
he
are
was going to
tolerated.
I thought he was going to hear Val go, "You need to apologize," but like in the most least accusatory way possible, and go, "No," and then that was going to be the conversation.
He doesn't take well to authority, but like, are you authority here? You're just kind of some guy. He responds better to just some guy than to authority.
And also wasn't trying to be an authority. Val was literally saying, "I think you had a right to your privacy, and I'm sorry that was violated." But unfortunately, that made Octavia very sad.
Pull your head out of your ass.
And yeah. Like, I agree that you have a right to not answer invasive questions, but maybe the fact that she cried, you went too far.
Don't make women cry, you piece of shit.
Partly because the player playing Octavia is a wimp, so I cry.
Rand, I love you dearly.
Don't make Valente voice. Don't make players cry. You've got
Listen,
to
we can
cry.
make Alice cry because he sucks.
Yeah, that's funny.
He needs
You
to
can
go
cry
through
just a
character
little.
development.
Gosh,
Anyway,
his character arc
My phone is
becomes a
about
nice
to
boy.
die.
Alright. Then I think we are good to go. I will see you all next week. Thank you all so much for coming. Have a good night,
Oh,
everybody.
had a great time. Good night.
Yep. Good night, everyone.